want to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It must seem like an 18-karat run of bad luck.
We're trying to get out of here in case you forgot.
The truth is, I'm not really a good person.
You want a beast.
Where you want? In the butt? And then turn around.
You heard it up top, and you're not going to Norman believe it. Get ready for one big Normie celebration. We're about to get normtastic here as we celebrate episode 299 Whatcha here on Normies Like Us with your hosts, just Colin.
Just Mike.
And just Jacob.
Wow.
$2.99 Jacob.
$2.99. I can't believe that we're getting close to 300, and longtime listeners might be like, wait a minute, don't they normally do Whatchas on the 10s, and why didn't they do a 300th episode? And we do have a reason for that. So
That's
I guess, should we let them know now?
We may have mentioned it already in the past,
Probably.
so we might as well, yeah.
Well, everybody knows my favorite director is Zack Snyder, famously.
That's right.
And he made a little movie called 300, and we thought, you know what? It's befitting.
What
so
better
that's
way
what
to
ring it in.
What else would we do? So we're going to watch that movie. We're going to talk about it. Now, Jacob asked a very important question right as we hit record, which is, are we going to talk about that 300 sequel? We don't know, normies. Maybe. If it's available, you'll see when we tune in next time. So I
haven't done my research. Yeah, we will or will have not watched both, but one of them for sure.
I have seen it before, so I don't know. Maybe it's worth rewatching.
I've never seen that one at all, so we'll see.
Oh, you're missing
the
out.
Blue one. Yeah, red cape, blue cape. One cape,
That's
two
right.
cape. That's Zack Snyder's script, I think.
That's right. That's
Right.
right. That's right.
So besides all that, we're taking a little Whatcha break, but $2.99, guys. I'm impressed, man, and I'm proud of us. I'll just say for myself,
We
that's
made it.
very cool. We made it.
Yeah, I mean, this show officially started in what year? Like, what, 2018, I want to say?
Impossible to check. Impossible to know.
I'll never be able to know. I think 18. I'll go check it out.
That sounds right.
And I
It
wasn't
feels
a
like
regular
million
host
years
to
ago.
start with.
Yes.
May
I was
2018.
A sometimes guest.
Mhm.
And then, I joined at some point as a permanent host, and ever since, the show's been really good. Probably was really bad before that. But
Your
I
opinions on
don't remember.
Bloodborne, how could we not keep you around?
Yes. That was the
That's right.
soft launch of Jacob the host. The Bloodborne episode.
The fans wanted more.
They kept asking for it, and we gave it to him. We gave it to him probably 250 more times after that since he became permanent. But
That's right.
Yes.
But it's been a long road. We talked about a lot of things, a lot of subjects, right?
Do you guys know what the first subject was? The first episode ever was like our backgrounds as fandom, but then second episode was a topic, and I'm wondering if anybody recalls what it was.
Well, Jesus, I can't imagine what I said in that first one. What was the things that I'm a fan of? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The dumbest stuff, probably. But boy, what was the second one?
I'm going to guess it was probably, I want to say it was like Solo, a Star Wars story, because I think that was one of the early episodes where he talked about that movie that had just come out.
Was it just like Marvel? Was it just like
might have
Marvel?
Been Marvel. Yeah.
Like
so actually,
yes.
That's a good roll for the first 5. The first thing was just Star Wars. We just did Star Norms. And then the 4th episode was Solo. That's really good recall, Jacob.
I do remember that, yeah. And I might have been on that episode, I don't know.
Could have been. I have to listen back. Colin, you've mentioned before that it's kind of cool to have this just like as an archive of our opinions at the time. So I think I will, before the next Watch, you listen to those first couple. I'm just worried what my hosting abilities were like.
I'm sure we've come a long way. I mean, I don't even want to go back and listen to them because I just would cringe at everything that I say.
I'm just trying to do 66 more, so we have one for every day of the year that I can just re-listen to over and over and over for the rest of my life.
Yep, 365 episodes in a movie, baby. Get it done.
That's right.
But yeah, really, and listeners, you should definitely go back and re-listen to every episode multiple times, obviously.
Yeah.
We'd appreciate that. But if you have a favorite, let us know, because 300's a long run.
That's right. And they used to be audio only. We started doing video. This is a good question for you. Do you remember what our first video episode was? Because I know what it is.
It's definitely pandemic-y. So it was something like...
Yeah, close after the pandemic.
Is it Mario?
No, it was a specific thing, a specific media property, I guess you could say.
Oh, weird.
Within a media property.
I'm not gonna cheat and look. Huh. A specific thing within a media
To me,
property.
to me, the Halloween ones are jumping out. It's not like a Candyman.
No, I'll say it was May of 2020, I believe.
May.
So it was about 4 years ago.
May the 4th? Was it Star Wars again? Are all the answers to our podcast Star Wars?
No, it was. I'll give you a hint. It's Marvel. It's a specific Marvel thing.
Oh, it's like Doctor Strange or something.
Like Captain America or something?
It was, Colin, WandaVision,
there we
the first MCU streaming
I like
series.
WandaVision. I said it was dumb. I take that back.
No, and that's fitting. That like a show about a show was our first on-camera run. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's
yeah,
funny.
That's where we started experimenting with doing video, putting it on YouTube, and we've done that ever since.
Well, do you guys remember Joe was sucked into that television? That was sort of
that's right.
What kicked off all that? I believe he's living through every year of sitcoms. Unfortunately,
yeah, he's living. I Love Lucy right now.
Scarlet Witch came through and said, "I want a Joe in my universe," and just brought him through.
No more Joes.
Oh no!
What does that even mean?
Right.
That's right.
But wow, yeah, what a run! And who knows what the next 300 will be? I can't wait to get to 420. That's going to be.
That's when we'll do 302 Rise of an Empire.
There we go.
Yeah, we need something big for 400. Yeah, 420 will be our weed episode, I guess.
That's right.
We haven't done one of those, never Cheech and Chong or How High or any of that, but.
Right, Half Baked.
Yep, classics.
Maybe one day, yeah.
Maybe one day we'll get there. But we're here to talk the Whatchas, so I guess I just wanted to kind of get some of that out of the way up front. That it's pretty neat that we've been this consistent, and it's always fun having these conversations with you guys. It's one of the things I look forward to, especially through pandemic and stuff. It's always a good time, especially because nobody else wants to talk for an hour and a half about Planet of the Apes with me. So thank you.
Absolutely,
it was a lifesaver, man.
It's been great. But I guess let's then figure it out. What you been watching. And then playing after that, but let's jump to it. What you been watching right after this?
We're back here on Normies Like Us, where you heard us say it. It's a very special episode. It's $2.99. We're going to do a Whatcha. Now, what that means is we're just going to be talking about what we've been enjoying. Get to know your hosts a little.
Yeah, that's kind of the stuff we do that doesn't warrant a full episode or that we don't all kind of have overlap on, kind of catch up, as it were.
The things Jacob will text and say, watch this show, where it's like, I guess I will, and I won't, but I'm excited he's excited about it.
It's like when somebody sends you a YouTube link, and you're like, I'm not in the mood for this right now. I'm doing other stuff. But
hey, whenever you get around to it, it's okay. I don't expect you to watch it.
Well, one of those things I did watch, if you want to start there, I did watch some episodes of, I think, your introduction. I'm not going to steal it.
Yes. This is a show that I wanted to talk about. It's like my favorite new thing that I've seen in a while. But it's a show called Scavengers Reign. Scavengers Reign. And this is an animated show. Originally an HBO Max original. Well, technically it was originally developed from a short that aired on Adult Swim in, I believe, 2016. So the creators made this short that aired on Adult Swim. From that, they developed a pilot. The pilot didn't get picked up by Adult Swim, but they kept working on it. Got picked up by HBO. They made a full season. And then, unfortunately, HBO canceled it just last month in May. But immediately, Netflix acquired it. And so now they're saying, well, we'll see about a second season. If enough people watch it on Netflix and our metrics show that it's worth it, then we'll make another season. So I'm pitching this mainly to get people to watch it on Netflix so they make a second season of this great show that I love. So, yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah, and much like the Furiosa, like, go see it so we get more stuff.
Yes, unfortunately, that didn't work out.
Didn't work. I tried. I saw 3 episodes of this, and I didn't know it was going to be animated when you pitched it. You're like, this is my, a sci-fi property I'm really into right now. I'm like, all right, I like sci-fi stuff, but I was expecting like a House of Wolves kind of vibe, but then it was animated, and I was pleasantly surprised. And I like this show a lot. I'm going to finish it eventually.
absolutely. It is animated. It's to give you the short pitch about it. It's essentially it is a sci-fi thing, and basically it's about the crew of a ship that crashed. They're stranded on an alien planet, and they basically just have to survive on this alien planet. And this planet has very weird flora and fauna that they have to sort of figure out. And it's beautiful, but also very dangerous in a lot of different ways. So it's just about navigating this planet and trying to survive and trying to get home. So
Yeah, and it seems like the crew is kind of scattered. They're not all together. There's like different groups. Some people are by themselves, so they're all just surviving. It's like these little cutaways to each group or each individual.
That's right.
And they all encounter different weird stuff. I think the xenobiology, I guess, is really, really fascinating in this show.
Yeah.
It's really creative.
That's kind of the hook of the show, is that all this weird flora and fauna on this planet is just like so alien to us, and it works intricately together on this planet in just weird ways. And that's kind of what the original Adult Swim short was about, that they expanded into the show.
Nice.
But yeah, it starts out, it takes place, has 3 different sort of POV character groups of, 3 different escape pods that landed on different parts of the planet. And it's just them trying to basically get back to the ship or get a message out to someone to rescue them.
Is it Michael B. Jordan, or am I thinking of something else?
I don't think so. There's not a
Okay.
lot of big like names attached as far as voice acting and stuff. But it's really good. I love it. The animation is very beautiful and interesting, and the music is great, and it's just this vibe that it has. It's very peaceful, but also like brutal, because this planet will kill you if you don't like pay attention. So
There's a lot of things that look harmless that are very dangerous, things that look dangerous that are harmless. It's like this whole like, where do I stand in the ecosystem of this planet? And it is a vibe. There's a lot of non-speaking time on the show where it's just kind of laying out the landscape and the creatures and stuff. It's kind of meditative. So yeah, I like it.
And the world building is so interesting, because the creators of the show must have thought out like every single thing about how this planet works, and it's almost got like a nature documentary sort of vibe to it, where it's like it's a nature documentary of an alien planet that you've never seen before. So
yeah, that's a good pitch. Yeah, so I'd check that out.
Mike shouted out that Raised by Wolves. It sounds a lot like that. Obviously another HBO. But what was that Amazon? What's that sci-fi thing you always pitch on Amazon, Jacob? What's that? The Expanse.
The Expanse.
Yeah, it sounds a little expansive.
The Expanse is great. Yeah. But this show, it's very interesting. Like, it takes its time. It doesn't rush things. It's got almost like sort of a languid pace to it, where it's like not super action packed, but it's just about these people trying to survive and trying to cross different areas of this planet, and coming into different obstacles and how they get around them and stuff like that.
It's like Miyazaki meets cyberpunk or something. That sounds
it is
cool,
weirdly very Miyazaki inspired in the animation. Yeah, because it's beautiful but also brutal, and it's just fascinating to me. So
yeah,
I really want a second season, so please watch it on Netflix, everybody. Boost those numbers. It's great. Yeah,
just put it on and walk away. Walk to a different room. Just turn it on.
Netflix is its own graveyard of animation, dog. I'm not positive they're the ones
I know, but
reach out to. Yeah,
the fact that they did acquire this after HBO canceled it is surprising. They're like, well, we'll try it out, and so it just came to Netflix like starting like the beginning of June. So definitely check that out. Hopefully it gets a second life on Netflix, because it's really cool. I mean, it's original sci-fi, and it's awesome. So people should give it a chance.
And it's art too. Like it looks hand drawn to me.
Yeah,
at least it's like there's a craft to it.
The animation is incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and also Netflix Godzilla -1 is on there now. Speaking of Netflix getting stuff, so that was kind of a surprise.
That's
only
right.
on
and
Prime
I
in Japan, but not here.
Huge debut.
Yeah, it took a long time to come out on streaming in America. I think there was some kind of distribution deal that was holding it up or something with the rights.
Maybe something with Legendary and Godzilla.
It was
Kong.
still making money. I think they just wanted to keep it in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is on Netflix now. I just rewatched it the other day. My second watch after I saw it in theaters, and still holds up. Still great.
Yeah, we're gonna get the minus color soon too, I think later this year, so keep an eye out for that, Godzilla fans. But Colin, what have you been up watching lately? We were doing the Scavengers Reign. You haven't seen that one yet, right?
No, I did not make it to that. I've really just been winding down on my commentary watchathon, which is not on any streaming service, obviously. Because again, if normies haven't followed along, I'm trying to watch all physical media I own in alphabetical order, and then if they have a commentary track, watch the commentary track as well. And I have like 9 films left, so we're done, y'all.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So what have you learned about commentary tracks?
You know what? Here's what I've learned. I've learned that the speech I gave last episode, I won't totally rehash, but go back and listen, that the way physical media packs special features it's just this dice roll. You really got to be paying attention to what you're buying. Even a steel book or something, something now. There is modern ways to get good packaging, but you have to be very particular. And then just the people. Like the best people are obviously the most chatty. Every Carpenter commentary is incredible, not just the ones with Kurt Russell, but like I don't know, the Prince of Darkness, he does it with just one of the weird actors on there, Jacob. It's not even Donald Pleasance. It's just like one of the guys, and they have a great time. Or Christine, it's him and the weird nerdy kid, Arnie. And they just have a great time. One I wouldn't have thought that like totally blew my mind. Casper, just the 1990, what is it, 8 or something, Casper by Brad Silberling with Bill Paxton. That guy, I don't know that guy's career. Brad Silberling. I can't think off the top of my head any other stuff he did other than Casper. And I don't know if you guys have seen or remember that movie, but it is like a remarkable work of digital effects that he's putting to the screen. It very plainly explains like, oh, anytime a ghost is touching a human being, that is the first time a digital effect ever had to interact with a live action plate or element. And it cost $1 million per touch. You're like, yeah, of course it did.
Right.
Wow. I do remember that movie. I remember liking it.
Christina Ricci was the young girl.
That's right.
Yes. Here's
Another
a great
Wednesday.
story, Jacob. He gives great acting advice. Brad Silberling just seems like a guy who's not only good at the technical stuff, but gets good performances out of people. At the end, there's the big dance to the Harvey comic song, Casper the Friendly Ghost. You guys probably remember how it goes. Casper the Friendly Ghost. Right? He's talking over the credits. He's like, and you see this, Christina Ricci, she's dancing her little heart out. She's having a great time with Bill Paxton or Bill Pullman. I'll tell you how I did that. I asked her, what song do you want to play? And we played a Radiohead song for her. And she's going crazy. She doesn't have to hear the dumb Harvey song. Like, he calls it out. He's like, that's stupid. He's like, just make your actors happy. You're like, that's a great note.
Awesome.
Like, that's
she was listening to
good
Creep.
Story.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, it's Hello Computer. And she's just fucking busted a move while, Ghost flies into the credits and waves at you. Yeah. Just great stories. Just stuff that we talked about last week that you'll never get in these pre-made electronic press kits. I watched the super famous Tropic Thunder one. What's the joke of Tropic Thunder, right? Obviously that as
he doesn't drop character until the commentary track, and then he plays
commentary. Burke Lazarus or whatever extreme, like Lincoln Lazarus or whatever.
I think it's Kirk Lazarus, but
name. Robert Downey Jr. plays a little time, and then when he gets to that line, he becomes the Australian character. I mean, it's so silly. It's
that's
wild.
Very silly.
So he's playing the actor in the movie that he played, or he's playing the character.
Answering to the questions, Robert. Like you guys remember the fake trailer opening with him and Tobey Maguire?
Yes.
The Ben Stiller, director of the movie, is like, hey, look at this, Iron Man. It's you and Spider-Man. And Robert, like, sounds a little bugged by it, but he goes like, oh, yeah, of course it is. Like, does his voice. Like, it is like, it's not great. So, I don't know.
It's just a silly bit, but the fact that, he did stay in character till the commentary. I wonder if that was
funny.
Improv. Yeah.
People forget that he was up for an Academy Award for that movie. Like, he took that film very seriously. Even for being a comedy. Jack Black's on it too. It's the 3 of them. They have a hoot the whole time. Anytime it's just people laughing, it's great. The Spider-Man films, Sam Raimi talking to the cast of the Spider-Man films is a hoot.
Oh, sure.
Man, I think I do need to dive into commentary again. I used to, like, again, I don't have as much physical media, but that's like a lost art, not an art, but it's like it's a huge. You can learn so much from it, right?
You can.
Like the Lord of the Rings ones, they had one of just the composer, like one of just some of the actors, one of the director, and it's like they had like 3 or 4 different ones from different perspectives of a movie, and it's like
Shaun of the Dead has Edgar Wright with every person involved. It's every version of it. I'll be with the writers. I'll be with the producers. It's just me and Simon Pegg. Mike, like when people put that much tender care and can keep coming up with new stories, that's wild to me.
Dang, and I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan. I've never even listened to those. Now I know what I can do because I do have Shaun of the Dead.
I'm sure those ones are great. Scott Pilgrim has a dope commentary track where it's him and Brian Lee O'Malley, the guy who made Scott Pilgrim. And he's like, this is crazy. He's like, I can't believe you made a movie out of my comic book. He's like, yeah, let's talk about it.
That's great. I thought
the famous one I know. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, I want him to do the Fully Cooley live action if it was ever to happen. Yeah. After seeing Scott Pilgrim, you're like, maybe you could do it. Anyway, cool. Jacob.
The famous one I know is, and it's a shame you don't have this on DVD, Colin, Armageddon.
Yes.
The Michael Bay movie. Famously because Ben Affleck just kind of shits on the movie constantly. It was just like, why? It doesn't make sense that you would train oil drillers to be astronauts rather than train astronauts to be oil drillers. And Michael Bay's just like, just shut up. Look
at these helicopters. Where are these helicopters going? What is this? Yeah, classic. A classic in the ratethatcommentary.com lore, a website I never thought I would troll as much as I do. A strange forum where these freaks all gather and rate these commentaries.
Yeah.
No, I like that. One of them. Are you rating them too? Nice.
I unfortunately am now.
You're a mod on that site, I think.
Yes.
Wow. I'm looking at the top 10. They have Transformers, Armageddon, The Godfather, Seabiscuit, Perfect, The Rock. That's a great movie. The Island. Michael Bay's on this list several times.
A lot of Michael Bay's. The man's a maniac.
Check out those commentaries.
Wow. All right. That's cool. I love commentary.
And just because you just mentioned it, I'll close up with the stuff I've been watching, just with historical fiction stuff, and just because you said The Godfather, I finally watched The Godfather for the first time.
Never seen it before in your life.
Did it live up to the hype?
Never seen it before. It 100% lived up to the hype. I loved it,
That's
and
great.
I followed it with the insane Paramount TV series, The Offer.
That's
which is
right.
The soap opera about making the stupid series or the movie, and it's so good.
Now, I may have talked about this show on the last Whatcha. I don't remember.
I think
I watched the show, The Offer.
You brainwashed me into watching this.
Yes, it's about the making of The Godfather. So you have like the main character is Miles Teller, who plays the producer of The Godfather.
We gotta make the movie.
Yeah, it's just everyone doing a weird voice. Of course, you have Robert Evans, the famous 60s and 70s Hollywood
Bubby, what are you talking about, Bubby? We're going to make this picture wham, bam, wow. We're going to do it fast, and we're going to make it for you and me and everybody.
But it is weird to just see all these, like, there's someone playing Marlon Brando. There's someone playing young Al Pacino. There's someone playing Francis Ford Coppola. And it's just like, it's so, it's so indulgent. Like, there's no reason for this show to exist, but I still watched it, and I thought it was very fun. Like, not
no reason for the show to exist in that you and I very intimately discussed the overarching drama of the show, which, if you haven't watched it, everybody, is mainly about the Italian mob's involvement. I believe you brought this up in the last Whatcha, Joe Colombo. Jacob, the fact that by the end of the series, literally a character has to go, but what about all that money I owe to Joe Colombo? He was never going to make you pay that anyways. Come on, let's go to the movie premiere. There's almost no drama in that it's all manufactured and it doesn't pay off in any kind of way, but who cares? You just have a great time watching it. So,
but really the true story of making The Godfather, like there is enough there to make a show out of, because the mob connections, like they were unhappy. Like they didn't want the movie to get made because they thought it would make the mafia look bad. And their compromise was to take the word mafia out of the script and certain other words. But like even Frank Sinatra was furious about this movie because there's a character that's based on Frank Sinatra that makes him look bad. And so all this real world stuff that did actually happen and is sort of dramatized in the show. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, wild. I want to make the movie about making Fury Road. I want to make that dramatization with a fake Tom Hardy and a fake Charlize Theron and that would be
Tom's not coming out of his trailer.
Right?
Speaking of shows based on real life events starring people playing real people, I've been watching this Hulu show Clipped, which
Oh,
is
wow.
the
That's what I'll go to
story,
next then, yeah.
Los Angeles Clippers story. If you know
Yes.
about the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, or the former owner, Donald Sterling, in 2013, got in a lot of trouble for saying a bunch of racist stuff that was recorded by his personal assistant. It's a fascinating story, and so they made a show on Hulu about it, where you have Lawrence Fishburne playing Doc Rivers, the famous NBA coach. You have Ed O'Neill playing Donald Sterling. You have all these actors playing real NBA players like Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. And it is wild. But it's like, we mentioned that show Winning Time before, which is based on the Showtime Lakers. This is sort of the same thing, but much worse.
They should have called it Losing Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just said called it goodbye to your team time. Now, Jacob, it is the NBA Finals right now, or the championships or whatever.
That's right.
Do commercials air for this show during that? That would seem so strange to me if they were like,
not that I've
coming
seen.
Up on the new Clipped with these people playing right now.
But people have been sort of clowning on the casting of it all, because like the guy that plays Chris Paul, he doesn't look anything like Chris Paul, and it's like, it is very funny that the Lakers got this like prestige HBO show with all these famous actors and stuff, and then the Clippers, the team that nobody in LA cares about, gets this Hulu show with terrible casting.
Lawrence Fishburne is a huge actor.
Lawrence Fishburne,
How dare
yes,
you?
but mainly the NBA players are a bunch of nobodies that it's just like, oh yeah, that's JJ Redick, that's DeAndre Jordan. Okay, sure. It's just funny. If you know NBA like I do, it's very funny. There's a lot of like inside references to the real people, and it's just wild. It's like, oh, Chris has to go shoot a State Farm commercial. Okay.
Right.
It's also not
wild.
that long ago. That's what's so strange.
Yeah, it was 2013, so 11 years ago, but it's also sort of about the dawning of the internet era, like the TMZ era, where that's where it originally got leaked on TMZ, and it's this whole thing. So it's kind of the rise of this celebrity internet culture as we know it today. So it's sort of about all that, but also it's just like really trashy TV, but fun for me. Yeah. Fair.
All right.
So check it out. Clipped on Hulu.
Nice. Clipped on Hulu. Not Winning Time. Don't watch that. Watch Clipped instead.
Watch Winning Time too, but and I was telling Colin there should have been a crossover, because as you might remember about this whole Donald Sterling thing, the Magic Johnson was connected to this whole storyline, because so Donald Sterling had this young personal assistant named V. Stiviano who went to a Clippers game and brought Magic Johnson to sit with her in their seats, and that was what set off this whole racist tirade by Donald Sterling. So Magic Johnson, the main character of Winning Time, is involved in the story.
The guy who played him, put him
like
in
they
old
had the
age
chance
makeup.
to do the funniest thing possible and have that same actor play him in like old age makeup, but they didn't do it.
That would have been so funny.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, fuck Donald Sterling. That's funny to me, though.
And he was forced to sell the team to Steve Ballmer, who now owns the Clippers. So there you go.
Yep. Fascinating.
Ex-Microsoft guy. Yeah.
Right. That's what a rabbit hole of real life things. Like, weird dramatizations. I didn't realize there was going to be much overlap. I caught up on a couple random things that I've been meaning to catch. I finally saw Love Lies Bleeding and Pearl. Not to go ham on those, but I loved Pearl, Colin. I think you had mentioned that it was excellent. You were right. And I'm looking forward to Maxine coming out soon. So Mia Goth is a beast, dude. There's like an 8-minute monologue she gives in Pearl. One of the most incredible scenes. No cuts. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Mia Goth is crazy good. Yeah. So
did you watch the whole credits, Mike?
Yes.
How could you not? You're just glued.
Yeah, this everything at Ty West. I mean, maybe it's not for everybody, but I love the whole setup, his presentation. Yeah, I'm stoked.
Ty West, I'm kind of hit or miss on, because, and I did see someone once who wrote online, and I've been thinking about this ever since. Every Ty West movie is like an hour and a half of like nothing happening, and then 30 minutes of like some crazy shit. And now that's how I see like every Ty West movie. It's a very slow build, dog. But yeah,
that's very true.
Astute. Was it Joe?
I think I just read it on Letterboxd or something.
That's funny.
It could have been Joe.
That's pretty spot on. Yeah.
No, but
I do
that
like
is
some
spot
timeless.
on. Did you see Pearl yet? Have you seen X or Pearl?
No, I've seen X. Haven't seen
Mhm.
Pearl, but I know what it's about, and then I've seen the trailer for Maxine as well.
Maxine, though.
I'm
He's just
really looking
obsessed
forward
with
to it.
doing this Mia Goth trilogy where she plays different characters, but kind of the same character.
It'll be
But
4 different
Debicki-
characters.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. They're doing what? The Night Stalker versus Mia Goth, basically? That's what Maxine is, yeah?
Seems like, yeah.
Wild. So I recommend that. And then
Yeah.
Love Lies Bleeding,
Love Lies
I thought.
Bleeding.
It was fun.
Yeah. I wanted to see that. I haven't gotten the chance yet.
Did you work out right when you got done with it?
Yeah, 100%. I didn't realize it was set in the 80s. Like, the peak of like steroid bodybuilding, so there's a little bit of subplot there. But
Kristen
I liked
Stewart.
it. She's good in it.
Yeah.
And so is Kate O'Brien.
Yeah, Kate O'Brien.
Yeah,
All
Jen
of us
Tara.
know her from Ant-Man Quantumania, our favorite movie.
Chintara,
Yes.
help! We have to
I
escape
can't
the
believe-
quantum realm.
You remember her name in that. She was also
Tara, the greatest
random
character of all
Imperial
time.
lady, ex-Imperial,
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
So cool.
trying to become,
God,
reintegrated
gets those
into
big
society.
hands right on Mando, grabs him right through that armor.
Right?
Now, do you know the story of her casting in that movie? I don't know if you know this, Mike.
I do, but I'd love you to share it. And I heard it because I watched a lot of interviews with them because I was just fascinated by this movie. But yeah.
Well, I just know basically on Twitter, I think the director was posting about her, like, we're looking for, this actress or like an actress that can like be like a bodybuilder or something. And she posted on Twitter like, "Oh, I don't remember exactly what she posted, but she's like, I want to do this," and basically got casted from that. So
Yeah, I guess she said, like, I don't know how my agent didn't find this for me. Like, I was blown away because it was so
Big
clearly
lady.
like written for me,
yeah.
Now,
but
I'm
she's
always
jacked in
posting
it.
online for big ladies, and I never get rewarded for it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, wrong place, wrong time. But it's a good little thriller. Kirsten Stewart has some of the most amazing reactions. There's sometimes they don't match the situation so much that they feel more real, if that makes sense. Because like what's happening is it's like she has some really, really great reactions in it. But I'd say 7.5 out of 10. But it's a good watch. It's a chill little vibey.
Ed Harris plays like a Batman villain, I read.
Yeah, he's like a crime
Just like
guy.
a bad guy. Yeah.
He runs the gun range where Katie O'Brien ends up working, and it becomes a thing. You'll have to just
Looks
watch
like
the
a
movie.
Crypt Keeper.
Yes.
Yeah, and I saw the trailer and I was like, "Oh, this looks pretty cool." There's some like crime and violence and stuff. Like it's a thriller, so I was like, "That looks pretty good."
It's about the things we would do for love, the good and the
Yes.
bad. So
It's a
It's
lesbian
probably-
love story.
The
Yeah,
best
Happy Pride Month.
lesbian Coen Brothers movie, better than the actual lesbian Coen
Drive Away
Brothers.
Dolls.
Yeah, whatever that. Yeah, whatever that was.
I haven't thought of that, but yes, I was entertained though. It turned me around on Kirsten Stewart. I think Katie O'Brien deserves better roles too. Like this is a good part for her, and I want
I've
to
been
get the
a,
shirt from the gym.
Yeah, I've been a Kristen
A24
Stewart
sells them.
believer for a long time. That's kind of the big secret of the Twilight franchise is that actually her and Robert Pattinson are both good actors. They just had bad material in those movies, and it took them a lot of time to break out of that sort of typecasting. But ever since I saw her in Adventureland, actually, which was like 2011, I think, I was like, oh, she really can act. And I mean, she's been doing a lot of different weird projects. She was nominated for an Oscar recently for playing Diana, Princess Diana.
Right.
That's
so
right.
weird.
Yeah. So,
Twilight,
okay.
Mike, a quick 4 movies right after Planet of the Apes.
Oh, God.
I've never seen them. I've never seen them. But my
I've only
favorite
seen the first one.
Paramore song is from Twilight. Decode.
That's right.
Yeah.
A
And
Twilight original.
ton of
Yeah.
good
For
Arcade
that-
Fire songs, if I'm right.
Yeah, a lot of
The
them.
first movie at least had strangely a good soundtrack. They had Radiohead in there. But maybe we'll get to that. But Kristen Stewart, she's been on a roll lately. And Love
They
Lies
have a lot
Bleeding,
of-
that's one I haven't checked out yet. But
and it's an A24. We like them, and yeah, they
Yes.
have crazy merch on the website. I want to get the T-shirt that they have in the movie. You can buy it of the fake gym, and then they have
Is
like
it a
an
muscle tee?
ashtray. You cut it into a muscle tee, like you would have to do it, but I want it.
great.
And they have like an ashtray, like an 80s ashtray with the gym logo. Like it's like an in-universe, almost like, it's weird because Kristen Stewart smokes cigs, but it's just funny to sell. Like, here's the ashtray from a fake gym. I don't know. It's neat.
Hold on. While you're talking fashion, Mike, tell us about your most recent purchase.
Dude, all right, yes. I got a new jumpsuit, and Kirsten Stewart's wearing one in that movie too. And I'm like, it's jumpsuit season. I'm out here. Yeah, I got a brand new, my nicest jumpsuit for the 300th episode. And yeah, I'm in my jumpsuit era.
Here's
great.
the versatility.
Jumpsuit.
Spaceship, underwater, in a gym. You can wear this thing anywhere.
Anywhere.
That's right.
Exactly, man. So,
well, speaking of some, A24 movies and such, I'll just shout out a couple movies that I saw in theaters recently. And this was a couple weeks ago, but we do these, every 10 weeks. So I got to go through everything I've seen in the last 10 weeks. But I haven't seen Love's Lies Bleeding, but I did go to the theaters to see Civil War, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but that's an A24 film. And then I saw Monkey Man, which I was a huge fan of, and definitely recommend that. It's
that
probably
is high
not
on my list
anymore, but check it out when it comes out on streaming. Really, really big fan of that movie. And of course, that's Dev Patel's directorial debut, and he also stars in it. It's an action movie. It's sort of a, it's sort of marketed as Indian John Wick, right? He's doing John Wick type stuff set in India. I really liked it. So check that out.
I mean, it's high on my list. I like this. The trailer hints at it's very much tackling issues of classism and stuff that are, prevalent in India, but all over the world. But like, it's tackling that, like the little guy taken down.
It's a very
Green Knight, Mike's favorite actor.
A24. Yeah, I love
Dev
Green
Patel
Knight.
is out here killing it right
Most
now.
handsome motherfucker on the planet.
Super handsome.
Jesus Christ.
Super charming.
Great hair. Like, damn.
Great hair.
Yeah. I'm jealous.
He should be one of the biggest stars to me in Hollywood right now.
People say James Bond, Jacob. People do that conversation all the time. Everybody's like, no. I'm like, why?
We missed Idris Elba. Give it to him.
Right. Give him something. I mean, he's killing it, and he did a great job directing this movie. I mean, the fight scene choreography is great, and it is a very politically charged film. Like, surprisingly, like I was not expecting it to be as political as it is, but it's really tackling issues of, like you said, class and everything in India. And yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. So shout out to Jordan Peele for saving that movie. Basically what happened with that movie is that Netflix bought it and then was going to sort of bury it. And it almost got, straight to Netflix release, and it would have gotten, no marketing or anything. And Jordan Peele
Chris Hemsworth
saw
extractions or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's kind of where movies go to die.
Yeah.
But this movie, Jordan Peele saw it and he's like, this deserves a theatrical release. And they actually marketed it and stuff. And it was a good decision. So
you would have thought you would have been like, oh, Monkey Man, the sequel to Gray Man, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Gray Man, that movie that everyone's still talking about, of course.
Of course.
Fascinating that Monkey Man is more political than a movie called Civil War was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Civil War, I was a little cooler
I heard
on
it's
for sure.
Yeah, like it really doesn't say a lot, but I haven't seen it.
Well, it's an interesting movie. It's I know what it's going for. It doesn't totally work for me. I mean, it's directed by Alex Garland, who I am a fan of course. Ex Machina I loved, Annihilation I loved. He wrote a lot of movies like Sunshine, Dread. He's got a lot of good movies in his filmography, but this one just missed the mark for me, unfortunately. It's sort of about, a near future US where there's a civil war going on, but it's really more about the plight of the photojournalist, the war photojournalist, as they drive across America trying to get the shot, so it's interesting.
A plight we all relate to.
That's right. There's some good acting in it for sure. I think Kirsten Dunst is great. Yeah.
Probably not this movie, Jacob, because you're saying you didn't like it, but you both just mentioned 2 new movies. Are any of these hitting your top 10?
Monkey Man, I probably will be, because I gave that a 4.5 on Letterboxd, which is a very high marks for me, and generally anything with a 5 or a 4.5 is going to be in my top 10 at the end of the year. So unless there's a lot of really good movies that come out after it, I think it will make my top 10. Yeah.
I feel Pearl could probably make it into my top 10 of movies I've seen this year. Love Lies Bleeding. I would find this is weird, but I would find it cozy. Like it's like I could just chill and watch it, but I don't think it's better than Pearl, if that makes sense. But yeah,
that movie feels like a 3 or a 3.5 to me. I haven't seen it yet, but it just feels like the kind of movie that
feels
would
so
be...
totable stained to me.
It is.
It feels like a real grimy thriller.
So grimy.
I guess I don't know, man. Just something about it.
That's cozy to you.
I
I think Furiosa will probably make my top 10 for sure.
Oh yeah. That's great. Well, anything else we want to cover on the what you've been watching? Other than that, I just kind of rewatched some Godzillas that I haven't seen. I haven't seen every Godzilla ever, so I'm just trying to finish that. That's like my personal
Shin
project.
Godzilla.
And
I love Shin Godzilla.
Did you redo -1 when it hit Netflix, Mike?
Not on Netflix because I know it's a perfect movie. But I saw it 3 times in theaters, so like...
Yeah, I only saw it once in theaters, so I've seen it twice now. I'll shout out another show quickly. This is another Netflix show. I've been watching a lot of Netflix things for some reason, but this is another Netflix animation. I'm talking Castlevania Nocturne.
Oh, that came out a little while ago, right?
Yeah, so of course we've talked about Castlevania on this show before. We're all fans of that show.
Big lady.
This is Castlevania Nocturne is sort of a spin-off, and it's sort of based on Rondo of Blood, if you know that. So it's following Richter Belmont.
Dude, Rondo of Blood, of course.
Rondo of Blood, of course.
The greatest phrase of all time.
What is a rondo? Yeah, like, I know they're all like
our classic from our Castlevania episode where we all debate what is a rondo.
What is a rondo?
Of course, the original Castlevania show was about Trevor Belmont in the 1400s in Wallachia. This is set in the 1700s during the French Revolution, and it follows Richter Belmont.
That's right.
A few hundred years later. Yeah.
And low-key, like Rondo is like probably the most important game because it leads into Symphony of the Night, which introduces us to Alucard, and so like that's that's my favorite timeline.
Shows up
where he's the villain
again.
Richter.
Yeah. But this is Richter is my favorite Belmont.
Interesting. Yeah.
Richard's my least favorite Belmont.
No, he's a shithead.
Always getting mind controlled. Yes.
But it sets up my favet time period in their timeline.
That's fair.
Which is
that's a good
answer.
The setting is interesting because it's in France during the French Revolution. So there's like this, a lot of the aristocracy are vampires apparently. But I will say I just started it, so I'll just shout it out because I haven't seen the whole thing yet. I've only seen a couple episodes because I decided to rewatch all of Castlevania first. So I did that.
I love it. A quick watch.
Still slaps,
great watch. God, that ending. I rewatch that final death fight all the time, dude. I love that Trevor fight. It's so good.
Yeah.
And Nocturne, I'm enjoying it. I will say I don't think it's as good as the original Castlevania.
It is
It's not Warren Ellis that's making it anymore. It's a different guy. The animation is still great, but it's not hooking me to the same degree that that show did. And I don't know if it's just that I just prefer the time period and the story of Castlevania, which I think is
it's a really good ensemble in Castlevania.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible, and the voice acting is great. The guy who played the mean dwarf in The Hobbit plays Trevor, and he's great.
Right.
And Gaius Baltar, the greatest name of all time, Jacob taught us on this podcast,
James
plays
Callis. Yeah, and he returns as Alucard.
He does, yes.
Because obviously he's a Dampier. He's half vampire. Trevor and Sifa. The Seeker or the
Sifa better not this.
Yeah,
Speaker.
She's great. Speaker, right? And he and Dracula, of course, is also voiced by Graham McTavish, who was in House of the Dragon. Was also a dwarf in The Hobbit, so that's fun.
That's right.
But yeah, Castlevania still holds up, still great.
Question for you:
the animation is great, yeah.
Because you said the animation is great. Question for you. I think it's Madhouse, right? It's the people who do like they did the first season of it. Powerhouse, maybe, Mike? I can't remember.
I think Madhouse is the anime studio.
That does like cyberpunk and stuff. So different, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Powerhouse does do Castlevania, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
He-Man.
They took a lot of inspiration from
He-Man, that's the other ones they do.
Stuff, yeah.
Yes, but let me ask you this, Jacob. They also do the Paramount Plus animated original Have you watched that Ark whatever Evolved series? What is that thing
Oh
that you
no.
like?
Ark Survival
Ark
Evolved?
Survival Evolved is a game
Ark
that
Survival Evolved.
yeah.
Google Paramount Plus original series for us, Mike, real quick, and tell us the cast because the voice cast is like the most insane thing you've ever read. And this just shows you there's no marketing that you don't know that this exists, Jacob, and this is something you like.
Yeah. It's based
All
on
right.
Ark Survival Evolved.
Oh, David Tennant, Gerard Butler, Vin Diesel, Jeffrey Wright, Michelle Yeoh, Russell Crowe, Elliot Page, Juliet
what
Mills.
is
I think it's produced by Vin Diesel. Is that true? Maybe is that
Carl
why
Urban,
he's
Alan
in it?
Tudyk?
What's it called?
It's the Ark Survival Paramount show. I just typed Ark Survival Paramount cast. What the heck?
I think it's the same animation studio, so you know it looks good too. And with that voice cast, how have none of us seen it?
This has not been
Right.
marketed at all. That's crazy. It's called Ark, the Animated Series, 2024. Wow.
Right.
I did not even know about that, and I've played a lot of that game back
You need
in the
to watch
day,
this.
so-
I saw your
very curious
dinosaur
what you think.
factory. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was run by dinosaurs.
You already sold me with David Tennant. I mean, come on, this show
wonder
was
if
like
he's the
made for me, and I
lead.
hadn't even
And
heard of it,
300
so-
Gerard Butler, dude. Come on.
Oh, well, we'll
Michelle
hear
Yeoh.
all about it next week when Jacob's like,
Carl
actually,
Urban.
this is a lot like Ark Survival Evolved.
That's very
That's
funny.
wild. Came out on March 21st. I
think there's
never
10
heard about
episodes.
it until you just said this. So that's
Yeah, it's
fascinating.
so
to me.
crazy.
What are you doing, streaming platform?
Paramount, of
content
course,
storm.
is like going bankrupt and getting bought
They're
out
broke.
by Sony. So
Yes, they're
They
dumping
don't have a-
everything they have.
yeah.
Man.
No, do you
that
know
means-
the crazy thing with that game is that they were making another game with Vin Diesel, the sequel to Ark Survival Evolved was going to star Vin Diesel as like
So,
the main character.
Again, but he produces
Whoa.
and voices on this. Does he own Ark Survival Evolved? Like I'm saying,
I don't
what are you
know.
like? Is he like Turok? What are you explaining to me? He owns
Yeah.
the concept of like dinosaurs or something.
That's how he got.
Also,
his
is there enough
Fast X.
plot?
He's like,
But
I want
could it-
the rights.
I'm gonna star in the dinosaur game.
I
But
did
Jay,
the last
is there
Witch
enough
Hunter.
plot? What is
Not
like?
really.
How do you
I
make
mean,
it a show?
Ark Survival Evolved is about a game where you wake up on an island and it's a survival crafting game, and it's an island that has dinosaurs on it, but it also has all this weird future tech and stuff, which is a big part of it.
I'm probably gonna watch it tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out because that's
Well, it might
insane.
not be so different from Scavenger's Reign, where it's like you need to survive. Like, you know, that like literally that's the point of the game. You build little bases, so food, shelter, weapon. Like that's the
Yeah.
basic core. Like you can build crazy
Right.
stuff in the game, but that's what I would base the plot on: food, shelter.
I mean, I just played that game because
Defense.
I like anything that has building and crafting and stuff in it because
I wanted
yeah,
to hear the word
we
dinosaur.
know. We're well aware.
Well, you know, that's like a really perfect poll, Colin, to be the segue to what you've been playing. That
Wow.
spot
I just want to say
on.
last thing about
Yeah.
Castlevania Nocturne. So far,
Also
I'm
a video
enjoying
game.
it. Not as good as Castlevania, but
Mhm.
I'm going to stick through it, watch the whole season. But so far, it is a spin-off and it's not as good. So I'll just say that.
I don't
Alright.
remember it. That's what bugs. I love Castlevania, and I can't even
Yeah.
remember watching that show. So
But you watched it, Nocturne.
Yeah. for sure.
Better than the
Well-
Witcher spin-off live action with Michelle Yeoh.
Right. Or the animated Witcher spin-off.
Theo James, who is not in Nocturne. Am I mixing that up? He's not.
Theo
the
James
lead-
is
lead
in
guy, right?
the original. He plays Hector in
Oh.
Castlevania.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's
Forge
right.
Master,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. Okay, that
nice.
makes sense.
There you go.
All right. Well, game on. Yeah, let's do it. Let's hop over and talk about
Let's
what we've been
game on.
playing. Get car. Game on.
Start, ladies and
Game
gentlemen, start
on.
your game engines.
We're back here on Normies Like Us. Game on, because we're talking what we've been playing.
Mhm.
What have we been playing? What have you guys been up to?
Oh man.
Well, I think me and Jacob have both kind of been in the same universe, but different cities. Because ever since the Fallout episode, the TV show, I've been playing Fallout 4, and Jacob, you've
That's
been
right.
dabbling in New Vegas?
Yeah, I've been playing a little Fallout New Vegas, which I've mentioned.
You guys are
before
sending
on the
telegrams
podcast.
to each other. Do. How is it
Yeah.
over there in Fallout City, Mike?
Oh, yeah, Boston's great this time of year. There's hardly
Of course,
any
we had
radiation.
this whole debate last time on the Fallout episode about you tried New Vegas, you didn't like it, you didn't like that there's no sprint option, which is understandable, and you
Mhm.
dropped it, but then you picked up Fallout 4 and you loved it, and you've been playing it ever since.
So this is my update. I wanted to get my I've become a Morton Joe. Okay, I have a facility. I have a facility where I generate 1,000 units of water per day. I make about 10,000
Incredible.
caps per day
I'm
in
proud of you.
surplus. And then I'm building the Wasteland Waterworks, Watertown, you know?
Wow.
So I want to show you when it's done, but 1,000 units of
Yes.
water. I have my entrance. I need to build the death pits so I can entertain my guests.
Do not
Thunderdome.
become addicted.
To water, that's what my sign is going to say. Do not become addicted to water in neon when you walk in.
This is
I'm
amazing
nervous
to me
about that, but
This is the part of the game that gets
Yeah.
you hooked, which is of course, the settlement building aspect of Fallout 4.
Speaking of arc,
which totally
oh,
seems
speaking
like
of loving building
yeah,
things,
that's the thing that I
Jesus.
was
I'm
very into.
hooked.
But I'm surprised that you get into because you're not like a building crafting game kind of guy.
I'm not, but I've spent 200 hours in this game, and I think 180 of them are building. I don't
Yeah.
care about the plot. I don't like shooting. I just want to build my little base. I go outside because I must get materials. That's all.
That is amazing to me. But I think actually maybe you should, when you get sick of Fallout 4, try 76, because that's the thing that 76 really builds upon, is that whole building aspect.
Right.
Because Bethesda was like, well, obviously this is what people want, is to be able to build stuff.
Mhm.
Did
and
you
it's-
see literally today they dropped a new bit about 76? Did you guys see what the
Oh,
new
no.
I
update
saw that
brings?
today. Yeah, they're
Mike.
what are they? It looks kind of
Mike
interesting.
will be playing this game because you can now play as a ghoul.
That's right. You can be Gabagool. You can
The
be
whole
a
thing with
ghoul in 4, too.
76 is that
There's
they're
no-
expanding on the settlement. You can build anywhere in the world, and you can build
Right.
like anything, and it's all
Right.
it's like an MMO. It's a Fallout MMO, but you can play it basically like a single player game if you want. And this is the game that everyone panned when it came out, but they improved it a lot. Similar to something like No Man's Sky, they made it a playable
Mhm.
game over the years, and it now has like quests and NPCs and all that stuff that games normally have at launch. But
Yes. But
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that I was hooked on the building, and I could care less about the plot. And we debated like, well, yeah, the story and the RPG is way better in New Vegas, but like I'm
Yeah.
here to build a water factory and rule the
Right.
wasteland with an iron fist.
Did they
okay?
just line up, Mike? And you're just like, yes, come
No,
in.
I just
come
barter.
You
in.
can make a supply station where you're sending things to
Ah.
other settlements and stuff like that, right?
Wow.
So I don't use money. I trade water. I say, give me that shipment of copper. Here are 500 water bottles. I
And
don't
it's
even
the
use
drive-in?
caps. Yeah, the drive-in. And I'm building
Wow.
death pits. I have 5 pet death claws that guard my settlement.
Showing movies, making water, death pits. I guess I like this place.
Well, I
guess I'll
capture
go there.
bandits and then I feed them to my death claw. Well, that's the plan. I haven't built it yet. I have 5 death claws, so I'm going
Mike,
to
you
capture
have death
bandits
claws?
Mike,
and have
That
a
is
death
fascinating.
pit to
how do you
entertain
capture
my
the death
residents.
claws?
There's a cage. There's like a
Oh,
wasteland.
no.
There's a wasteland DLC that I got.
That's amazing.
That
You've
adds
gone
cages
harder
and stuff.
into the building than I ever did when I played Fallout 4.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
when I went into the building, that was one of my favorite things about that game. But I would just build up the settlements, put a bunch of beds down to increase the population, and put defenses and all the necessities. And I would go around to each settlement and try to build a basic settlement.
Right.
But I never thought to
Mike's
just
starting
go
a
all
life.
in on
This has
Mike's
become
becoming a warlord.
my Minecraft. Exactly.
It
Like,
really is, yeah.
it's like my cozy game. I just want to go build stuff, but it is to be a warlord. I have a million power suits. When you walk in, they're like really intimidating with red lights above them. Like, don't fuck around in my water town.
Yeah.
Is it clean or is everything kind of dirty?
I'm kind of just building Thunderdome.
okay.
Kind of a Thunderdome vibe. It's
yeah, it's
okay.
Barter Town.
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, you play that
town.
game like I play Ark or Minecraft and just build
Yeah.
stuff, and
So
I love that. Yeah.
One day I'll be able to unveil it to you, but I have to keep glitching the settlement maximum size because I get close to exceeding it, and there's a glitch to lower it. But now I have so much shit in there, my game's starting to crash. So I hope I can finish it before like I completely destroy the
That's
engine.
fascinating. And let me ask you this: do you go out occasionally and like do quests and stuff and explore new areas, or you just spend most of your time building?
Most of the time I spend building, but I did go on quests the other day because I didn't have enough power suits to create my intimidation wall. So I needed to find more power suits.
Sure.
But like
Stand
I'm not
by,
really interested in the
citizens.
plot. Yeah,
I am
it's
here
like,
to pick up my cages of animals.
You can put down a bunch of turrets.
I
and
have the
stuff
water.
that'll shoot at raiders and stuff.
I got.
My lord.
I'm creating
Lord
logic gates.
Michaemus is here. He brings the water.
No, exactly.
Wow, I love that.
It's sick. Yeah, I'm working on like automatic gates, so like when you walk through the door, a decontamination arch turns on and gets your radiation out. I can't have dirty radiation people coming to my water town. You know, you got to
No.
make sure everyone's clean.
Well, speaking of Nick Offerman from that Civil War, you're like him in Last of Us, Mike.
Yes.
You just like own this town like a maniac, and you're like, I'll get everything working. People are like,
Exactly.
oh my god.
Yeah, you got to see it. You got to see it. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on it's my cozy game. I just build
I
stuff.
love that.
I love it, man.
I actually glitch infinite ammo for the gun I use just because I don't care. You could just play your add item in console. It's not like a cheat. It's just like I'm not interested in the resource management of the ammo. Like I want to do my quest.
Trade water for ammo.
Well, now I can do that, but before I had enough water, it was like, okay, but I can buy anything.
Bullet farmer and the fucking water baron striking deals.
Dude, I should find the bullet farm.
Bullshit.
Maybe I will make it. I thought about starting a jet factory to sell to all the drug addicts, but that involves a lot of
get some
cows.
Psycho, get some Jet, get some.
You could leave. You could do what Jacob's doing. Go turn one of the other ones into like an advanced factory. Make one a drug factory.
No, you're right. I should have
right.
a bullet
You could have
farm.
Gastown, bullet farm.
100%.
Harder with yourself, I guess. Set up other warlords.
Well, you just create, artificial scarcity. That's the dream, right? Be in a place where you can create scarcity for others.
Is Jet what the ghouls are taking? Is that what that is?
That's Rad X.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Jet is just like a drug that'll just hop you up and make
it makes you better at combat or like damage resistant, but you can get like addicted to it.
That's what that bandit's taken in the first episode, then for sure. Okay,
100%.
They have different drugs, and you can take them to enhance your combat abilities, but then you can get addicted. Then you have to take Fixer or something to cure your addiction.
Go to a doctor.
Go cold turkey for a little bit.
Too much jet, hitting the jet too hard.
Stay out of combat for a minute.
Well, my Fallout experience lately has been very different because I am, of course, playing New Vegas. There's no building in that game, unfortunately. But I've been the lone wanderer. I've been wandering around the Mojave, and I mentioned this before, but basically I started playing, of course, during the NBA playoffs that have been going on the past month and a half. And it's sort of become a ritual for me because I put on New Vegas. It's a very slow paced kind of game. I put on whatever NBA game is on, and I was mainly doing this during the first 2 rounds of the playoffs where there's just multiple games on every day. So I just throw on an NBA playoff game on the side, and I would just wander around. Don't need no sprint button.
My Spurs.
That's right. And
great dunk. That's you. You're just like do.
Yeah, and I think that's why I don't need a sprint button, because I'm just slowly crossing the desert, and I can just put it on auto run on my keyboard and just look at the NBA game when there's nothing happening. And it's become sort of a meditation for me, Yeah. It's just a vibe. And so I've been playing that game. I've been playing the DLCs of New Vegas, which are famous for being, some of the best DLCs of that era ever made and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun.
I'm getting to the point now where I'm scared I might buy the DLCs just because they have different shit to build with.
Oh, yeah.
You have to then.
I know. But then I have to start over.
I want you to try New Vegas at some point and just get that sprint mod.
Yeah, it feels like they're serving the same function. Like they're just chill out vibe games. You're doing a story, slow pace, and I'm just building stuff.
It is very different though, because I've played building games and stuff. I love building games, but this doesn't have any building, but it does have just a really good story, good RPG mechanics, and I am becoming super rich in this game because I'm such a scavenger and a hoarder that I just collect everything and then sell it.
There we go.
No, I'll never use it.
You go gamble, right?
Well, that's the trick that I found is that if you have a high luck character, I might have said this story on the podcast already, but it just shows the level of detail that I have a high luck character. I go into the strip, I go to a casino. I'm hitting blackjacks all the time because I'm so lucky and I'm making so much money. But then
I would definitely throw you out. I would think you're some kind of fucking ringer for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the whatever casino in, someone will come by and be like, we'll comp you some food because you're doing so well. We'll comp you a room because you're a high roller and stuff. And then eventually they're like, all right, get the fuck out. You're obviously cheating or something. So you will get cut off permanently. So you can get banned from casinos for being too good at it. Yeah.
Just like real.
I've already made 10,000 caps by that point. So Yeah.
I'm out.
Moving on to another casino. I've already pulled my grift by that point. Now, can I ask, did I fuck up? I don't think I did. I guess maybe I should have texted you, but I was in a GameStop the other day, used for the 360, $6, Fallout 3, no DLC, just the base game. Not worth it?
For $6, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is, but I mean, they're
you
also
said that one's not very good though. Fallout 3.
It's not my favorite. I mean, it's maybe worth playing, but it has the gameplay of New Vegas, but the story's not as good. So basically, it has the worst of both worlds, if you will, because it has the worst gameplay and the worst story.
And zero buildings. So
okay, great.
But it was
neither the things that we
time because it was the first, it was the first Bethesda Fallout game, and it was the first one that changed it to a first-person,
a shooter,
open world Bethesda style game instead of the first two Fallouts, which are isometric RPGs with turn-based. I don't know if they don't have turn-based combat, but they have.
It's like click. It's like Diablo
kind of game.
Yeah, real time.
It's like Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate, the post-apocalyptic version. Yeah.
Yeah. But we love Fallout still.
Yeah,
I'm missing
New
out.
Vegas,
I
man.
wish.
It's like you want to build
the
or
atmosphere
RPG.
is so good. I'm rolling around. I got a cowboy hat. I got my bounty hunter duster, my 6-shooter in my hand. I'm drinking Sunset Sarsaparillas and Nuka-Colas.
Fucking cowboy over here. 6 months from now, Mike in fucking 76, known as the Water Warlord. Fucking
Is it online? Could I literally rule the wasteland with water?
Yeah, that's the thing with 76. So it's online. You're playing. There's other people that are in your world, and you're building stuff. You can like nuke other people and stuff. So
read some article about how Mike survived a nuke and saved his water preservation town.
He had so much water around him that it filtered the radiation, and he survived.
I did read a funny story recently. What's the Xbox guy's name?
Oh, Phil Spector?
Phil Spencer?
Oh.
Phil Spencer might be, yeah. But he was like he got on 76, and then they everyone nuked his settlement.
That's right.
Good.
Yeah.
That's right. That's funny.
That's
justice. Oh, man.
But of course, Starfield, sorry, just to mention, also has that building aspect. And I did get into that a little bit, where I was building my own bases and stuff in Starfield, but it's just not the same. It's just not the same.
Caps, space caps.
Space
I'm just obsessed.
credits. Yeah.
I'll show you guys, maybe by the next Whatcha, I'll have something to show you.
Yeah. I'd love to see it. I love going on tours of stuff built in games. So.
I've never wanted to give a tour before, and now I'm like, this is pretty neat.
No, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I've gone on a couple tours with you famously. It's a good time. I saw your arcs, one I've seen several Minecraft things.
These are my dinosaurs.
Spent a lot of time building useless stuff in Minecraft.
This is my Vin Diesel in a cage. Hey, how's it going?
Yep. I have the rights for Pitch Black or whatever.
I own Ark Survival Evolved, Pitch Black.
The Last Witch Hunter. Yeah.
The Last Witch Hunter.
He loves
better
it.
than any of the Witcher
Cross him
spin-offs.
over.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh man. Vin Diesel. Colin, though, you been playing any stuff? Pokemon?
Yes.
Update? Yeah, what have you been into?
Much like my final come around to Godfather, I will say that I am at this cross point called Life is Too Short, where I am trying to just knock off a million things off of my what I was going to call bucket list. I don't feel good about saying those words at all anymore, and I'd much prefer to say just backlog or something, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just stuff you haven't got to, but always meant to.
And sometimes years apart, and that this took me 2 years, but I would ask that you guys address me by my actual title now, which is, of course, the Elden Lord. Thank you.
The Elden Lord. Yes,
thank you.
You are the Elden Lord.
Just in time for Shadow
Just
of the
in
Earth
time.
to come out.
2 years late.
Hey.
But right in time for the DLC, right?
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Like, I need to relearn how to play that game. That's so cool. I remember you mentioned it off pod, but yeah, man, stoked for you, happy for you, Elden Lord Colin. Remember it.
It was one of those things where it's like, I love those FromSoft games. I played those. They're at the perfect level of difficulty for me, where it's like, if they were a little harder, I probably can't play video games anymore, but they're right at where I can. So thank God I can keep going.
Yeah.
And I was stuck at a guy where I asked you, Mike, some advice off pod, and you were like, try a horse. I was like,
Oh,
try
yeah.
a horse on a boss? I've never done that before. What are you talking about? 2 tries in, I'm done with him. 2 days later, I'm done with the game. And it's just one of those things where I loved it. I had a great time. I'm a little let down that the end basically just becomes a boss rush, that you're just kind of walking through that hallway and it's just like, what do you think of this guy? And I'm like, pretty much what I thought of the last guy that I fought, but let's try it.
Yeah, you can get a new game plus.
Yeah, and you start with all your stuff and shit.
Yeah.
I confess to you guys, of course, that I did use a furled finger to gain assistance for the Melania fight. I didn't even try that by myself. There's no point.
There's nothing wrong with using people. I'm not an elitist like that. They put it in the game, so if you want help, use help.
Yeah.
I wish you could have been one of you guys.
Every boss naked with no weapon, then you're not doing it right.
What's that guy's name? Let me
solo
her. Let me solo her. Yeah, if I wasn't doing it, let me solo her.
He's retired.
He retired, yeah.
Yeah, recently.
Facing her like 60,000 times or some crazy.
He wasn't the guy who showed up for me. We did a beautiful dance, though. Shout out to my partner. And we did the gestures to each other at the end. You could tell that it was just like a dope-ass fucking feeling, man.
And that's
like
jolly cooperation. Shout out to Solar.
Yes.
Yeah, we love to see it.
Yes.
Praise the sun.
That's something that I always liked about these FromSoft games, is the sort of community around it and even just the ability to leave messages and that kind of thing, which has been in since Dark Souls 1. And it's just such a cool idea to have, like,
Demon Souls,
being able to send other players messages and stuff.
Yep.
When
Great chest
it
ahead.
became the boss rushy stuff at the end, where it's just like this big guy after this big guy after this big guy. By about the second one, which is like the dude in the chair with like the lion on his shoulder that comes to life,
Godfrey
like
or whatever.
Mike.
Yeah.
Godric or Godfrey. Or...
Just that social aspect of it. You win, you see all the messages on the floor, and they're all like, you're so close. Like, it's all exclamation marks that are like, keep going and stuff. And Jacob, you're so right, where it's like, once I'm done with that, I'm like, big exhale. I'm like, I fucking did it. And reading those messages, I'm like, let's fucking go. And I just keep pushing forward. It's the best part of those games, dude.
Yeah. I'm so stoked, man. I wish I could have seen it. We're gonna have to. We were talking about off pod when Elden Ring first dropped. There was like a culture that we had created, but we'd have like 10 people in a Discord. 6 of us are screaming Elden Ring at the same time.
Right.
Like, we loved it, and so I think maybe with the DLC that some of that group might come back. But it's gonna be good to get back into the Erd Tree.
You know what else? Just on what you just said there, Mike, about just the diversity of everybody's playing it, everybody's beating it, or whatever. To call back to a thing Jacob said when we did our Elden Ring episode, you want to talk about the history of this podcast? I mean, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
Right.
You brought up the difficulty level, Jacob, where you're like, there's not a difficulty level, but you have to be smart, where it's like the style of play is the difficulty level.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
there's things you can use to assist you.
Yeah.
You can have spirit ashes and stuff like that.
The mimic tears. Yes. The spirit tuning, the stuff that you could use, the other things. What I love about this game and what I think makes it so unique is the diversity of people that we just said of like, we've all beaten it or whatever. Yes, I took a tip from Mike on how to beat the fire giant, but I didn't use a larval tier and respec. Like, I beat it with the character I made the entire time, which was its own super unique style of play. I never had to change. And even by the final boss, I was using the same moves and combos and stuff that I'd built up throughout the rest of the play. Like, I was still my character. I think that's really cool. I didn't have to go like, oh, it's not going to work. Well, I guess I'm a big bonka guy now. I have to just do a total strength build. Like, no, I didn't have to. Yep. You don't have to do that.
Rivers of blood or nothing. Yeah. The katana builds. No, I think that's...
Yeah, there's not just one weapon that gets you there.
I dig katanas because I just like katanas, but
coated sword, baby. I did it with my chosen weapon the whole time.
Coated sword, what is that?
It's like a lightsaber.
Yes. Yeah, that thing's sick. You get it.
You get so many cool weapons in that game. So many cool things that you can use. I never beat it personally because I just I could have if I really wanted to. I just sort of got burned out at some point. If I got good, I got pretty far. I got pretty far in the in the game. Like I did a lot in that game.
I guarantee you could pick it up.
Yeah. It would take me a while to get back into it. Like, how do I fucking play this game? But I think I just got sort of burnt out on it and I just dropped it, which I do a lot with games where I'll get like 80% done and then just never finish them because I'm just weird like that. But
I took 2 years off. I was burnt out. I 100% understand that, dude.
Yeah. And
but it is a fun game. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. And Colin, you're right. I don't think anybody I know that has beaten it have had duplicate builds of anybody else.
Yes.
We all did it our own way, and I think that's super sick. Yeah.
It's just
there's
so
many
unique.
builds you can do. Yeah.
Yeah. I was a naked bonk boy, but that's who I am when I play video games, and that's
In your
fine.
heart.
Well,
so
it's
you've
like
been since Demon Souls, Mike. I mean, it's,
Yeah. That's my FromSoft
Yeah.
find the biggest club, and if you can have two of them, like in Dark Souls 2, then you get two of them.
I was like, what's the word for it? Like a speed and agility kind of build.
A dex scrub is what we call
attack
you.
or whatever, DPS damage per second or something. I was like a buff. I was like a Jedi was like my thing. I was like a fallen Jedi. I had a quick moving sword, all faith damage, and then I would use the push spell with my left hand, or throw a rock, or buff myself. Like, that's it. And then I would just fucking whack away.
That's very cool.
That's a very
I was just
interesting character to build.
Just slicing people up because I just think that's fun. Bloodborne.
I'll always remember my first like PvP thing in Dark Souls 1. A guy used push. It was called force, I think, in that. But I was standing near a ledge, and he ran up, and when I was bowing, he just used push and pushed me off the edge. And I'm like, you asshole.
Wow.
You motherfucker.
So I like using push. It feels like it's really very...
It's old school, dude. Now, question for you. Will you play the DLC, Mike?
Oh, 100%. That's on my list.
I already know, you're getting into it. Our buddy Leroy, like, everyone's going to jump back into it.
Supposedly it's the size of like 1/3 of the map of Elden Ring, which is like one of the biggest maps,
How many hours do I have in that game? Yeah. The best stuff in Souls games is generally always the DLC, 197 hours. So I've played more Fallout building than Elden Ring. Jesus.
Wow.
Anyway, that won't be the case for long.
Melania doesn't know how many fucking bottle caps you're worth, dog.
All she needed was some purified water. She would have been fine.
The rot. Mike, the rot. Yo, girl, try this water.
Really good. Yeah, I could have saved her, man. Yeah, I'm super stoked for it. I mean, I did Armored Core 2, and that's like the most obscure one. Not very Souls-like, but very much there's not one build. Like, you can make anything and beat the game, So they kind of kept that.
Bloodborne obviously was one that I played a lot. Sekiro I never got into. Do you guys ever play that?
That's the only one I've never played before.
That one is a rhythm game. I haven't beaten it. I'm at where Colin was. That's where I am. Like, I'm at the boss rush stage, and
I just walked away. That's so funny.
And that one is interesting because it is different in that it's like there only really is one play style. Like, you got to play
counter.
As like this,
you're playing as a name character. It's a ninja.
Yeah,
that's true. But it's very good. And I think it's interesting. We were watching the Summer Games Fest, just how many, like the arms race that Dark Souls has created in Elden Ring, where there's like 6 new Dark Souls quote games.
Dog.
There's so many.
When I was looking at that Fallout game, I almost pulled the trigger with some birthday money on Lies of P, a game that I keep calling a Mike game, but in my heart, I'm like, is this going to be a Colin game now? I don't know.
They say it's the Bloodborne sequel we never got.
That's what I was going to say. It looks very Bloodborne-esque.
Yeah, it does.
The community loves it. The Dark Souls community, they're
all
very
I
high
want
on
is
Lies of P.
a fucking, first of all, Bloodborne PC port / remaster.
It's
I would love that.
It's coming.
60 FPS.
Sure.
They ported every other Sony game to PC except for Bloodborne, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love that.
I've not beat Bloodborne either. Those are the 2 black spots on my Souls resume. So,
Bloodborne, best aesthetic, best combat, best everything. Bloodborne.
I just didn't think there was. Oh yeah, 3 is good. I like 2, and everybody hates that, but we joke that Elden Ring is Dark Souls 2 too, because it brought back power stancing, which means you can have 2 big swords. That's a Dark Souls 2 mechanic. But DLC I wanted to mention too. It's probably going to have the hardest bosses, because they like to do that as well. Ringed City, Colin, if you beat that. Gale.
Portrait of, I'm just thinking the first one, the painted world or whatever. Yeah,
yep.
Those were all impossible. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So there's, we're going to get to see who Mikola is.
Yeah. Even being so fresh on the lore, and my ending where I like sat on the throne and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening.
Hey,
like,
my boy, and George R.R. Martin the greatest
then you read,
fantasy author
like,
of our time.
Of course, we'll see Mikola, brother of Melania, sister of Mithra.
I could
Like,
never,
all
I
these
could never
damn
keep all the
names.
names
It's like I
straight.
can't.
It's
This
all
is all
insane.
nonsense.
Radigan is the same. Yeah, it's all wild.
That's right.
It's hard to understand, but then again, the lore of Dark Souls is also hard for me to understand. So maybe I'm just not very smart, you know?
Game of Thrones souls.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the main bosses are George R. R. Martin's initials. Rykard.
That's true. Yeah, there's
Godfrey.
all G's, R's, or M's, basically.
Margot. Yeah.
Margot.
Margot.
GRRM.
Yeah.
They are.
Melania.
George R. R. Martin. Why is that?
Because he's.
I don't know, but I love it.
Because it's funny. Because it's a fun fact.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm getting paid to do this instead of what I should be doing.
I'll do anything but
book,
finish
George.
my book. So yeah, well, we're definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah, there's one other game I wanted to talk about. It's a game that I've been addicted to recently when I'm not playing Fallout New Vegas. And I got into it. I knew I was like, oh man, if I get into this game, I'm probably gonna get addicted to it because this is the kind of game that I do get addicted to. But it's called Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Oh, I want to hear you talk all about this. Which did you see was just free in the Epic Store? So it also seems like people are going to play a lot of it now. People are playing this game.
Epic has a different free game like every week and stuff. Yeah, but it was on sale on Steam when I got it for like $5. So
wow,
it definitely was not. It didn't sell as well as they wanted to when it came out, unfortunately. And they sort of put a lot of sort of eggs in that basket. They were hoping it was going to be a big seller. But it wasn't. But this was made by Fireaxis Games, who made the XCOM games, which I'm a big fan of, which is turn-based strategy kind of combat games where you're fighting off an alien invasion. This takes a lot of similarities from that, but also changes the combat in really interesting ways. But this is Marvel's Midnight Suns. Do you guys know anything about this game?
I have not played it. I've seen some, trailers and a little bit of gameplay here and there in the peripheral of the feed, but I don't know much about it.
So, of course, this is a Marvel game.
It's like a hero shooter, quote unquote, right? It's like
no, it's not.
That?
No, not really. Well, there are heroes in it, but it's not a hero shooter.
They do shoot.
It's a turn-based tactical game.
Oh.
The combat is similar to XCOM, but it also has a card aspect to it where you basically you get a hand of cards at the beginning. You build, so each hero has their own deck that has all their different moves that are represented by cards, and then when the battle starts, you get a randomly drawn hand of cards. You have to use those cards to play the different heroes. There's a lot of environmental damage is kind of a big part of it too. You're using kind of the environment you're pulling things down or like throwing rocks at people and stuff. And each hero does play differently because they have a different skill set.
I see.
So of course, as a Marvel game, so you have all your basic Avengers that you would think of. Captain America, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Doctor Strange.
Their website has Michael Morbius front and center, along with Storm and Venom.
It.
Those are DLCs though.
Hi,
so
I'm Dr. Michael Morbius.
Yeah, the DLCs are Morbius, Deadpool, Storm, and Venom, which I don't have because I didn't buy all those.
Tom Hardy.
Each one is like $15 or something. It's crazy.
Right. But that's the.
So I just have the base game.
Yeah,
but so you have all the Avengers except for Thor. For some reason, he's not in it at all. But you also have Spider-Man. You have the Midnight Suns, which are basically Blade is the leader of the team. Then you have everyone's favorite characters. You have Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, not the original Ghost Rider.
The Road Warrior version.
Car. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
You have Magic from the X-Men. And you have she makes portals and stuff.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
She has a Russian accent. That's right.
Colossus' sister.
Furiosa herself.
Sister. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you have
Lord
Colin's
Humongous.
favorite character, Nico Minoru from the Runaways.
Minoru.
And they make up the Midnight Suns, which is sort of this game. Sort of the plot deals a lot with the occult side of Marvel. So you're dealing with a lot of like magic and spells and witchcraft and all that stuff. Scarlet Witch is there, of course. But you play an original character called the Hunter, and you are the child of Lilith, who is the main antagonist of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Lilith is the mother of all demons, as she's known, of course.
Of course.
Yep.
But basically, Lilith is working with Hydra to take over the world or something, do some bad stuff, and you got to stop her. You're her child that was killed 300 years ago, but you're resurrected.
What?
And you're the only thing that can stop her. So,
hey, you want to join my book club? This is Blade, by the way.
Damn.
That's right. I mentioned so of course this is basically XCOM mixed with Fire Emblem. So it has similar combat to Fire Emblem, and it also has the social aspect of Fire Emblem, where between battles you're raising your social score with these different characters, giving them gifts, going on friendship dates with them, joining their clubs. Yeah.
Yes, very
similar to
Persona.
Persona as well. There's a mix of a lot of different games that I noticed in this game, but so you're based in this place called the Abbey, which is sort of your home base, which is this Agatha Harkness is there too, Scarlet Witch. You kind of that's where you hang out, and it's this Abbey from Salem.
Oh right.
There's a whole backstory to it, but basically because you were around in the Salem times when they were doing witch trials and all that stuff as the hunter. So you're joining Blade's book club in between battles, and you're doing you join you join like a garage club with Robbie Reyes and Peter Parker and Iron Man to do like build stuff. So there's different clubs, social clubs kind of, and then there's also you take people on friendship dates, you give them gifts, and you're just improving how much they like you, and the more they like you, the more powerful they are in combat because they get different buffs and stuff.
Marvel's Persona, yes.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued now.
Yeah.
It
it reminds me a lot of Fire Emblem Three Houses, basically.
Oh, fair. They have similar elements there. I was thinking of Marvel Rivals initially, which is like that third-person hero shooter kind of thing.
The Overwatch clone that I'll be playing, of course, absolutely.
Yeah. No, this is every mission. You basically pick 3 heroes to send out on a mission, and each, like I said, each one has a different skill set. So, like, Spider-Man, he's shooting webs and stuff all the time. I forgot Wolverine is also in this.
Of course.
One of my favorites.
What's the Jacob? You've been watching all these DC animated movies. What's their equivalent of the team, like the Justice League Dark, I guess, or whatever, right?
Yeah. And the Midnight Suns, I don't know too much about them, but basically, I don't know if this is the normal lineup for them to have Nico Minoru and Robbie Reyes.
I can't imagine.
Right.
But they're working with the Avengers, and then you have some sort of free agents like Spider-Man and Wolverine that kind of eventually join your ensemble. And through DLC, you can get, like I said, Venom, Morbius, Storm, and another one that I'm forgetting at the moment. But
Moon Knight. I want to say the original lineup is Moon Knight, Blade, and Morbius. Oh, Deadpool. Okay.
Deadpool is a DLC as well.
I was thinking he would be right at home here, like when you were describing the team. Yeah.
Blade is the leader of the Midnight Suns. And some of the characters you join throughout the game. So like you don't have Spider-Man and Captain America right away. You don't have Scarlet Witch right away, because actually Scarlet Witch is sort of corrupted by Lilith at the beginning. So she's actually a boss that you fight, and you have to free her from being corrupted by evil. And then she joins your team. And there's a whole backstory. Here's the thing. The combat I love and I'm addicted to.
Even with the cards.
Yeah. The cards, it really adds an element to it of like a randomness, because you don't know what cards you're going to start with. So you can't just do your favorite attack every time.
Navigate to the win state differently every time. That's kind of cool.
Right. And there's the system. It's all very intricate. There's a lot of intricacies of the system that you have to figure out. But once you get it, it's like, oh, this all makes total sense. And I think the way they sort of roll it out to you and explain it, like, it seems complicated, but once you get the hang of it, you're like, oh, this feels very natural, actually. So I'm in love with the combat, and I love that. The in-between stuff is really not so good.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there's just a lot of dialogue. I'm skipping through dialogue constantly of these characters telling you all this bullshit that I don't care about.
I got to work on my car, man. Don't you realize?
Yeah.
I know, Robbie. I know.
The main plot of the game is like, okay, I guess, but it's just a lot of like, oh, you have to talk to this person and choose a dialogue option. Oh, I don't really care. I'm just skipping.
Well, I want to go back to
Yeah.
something you said, which was
Yeah.
the marvel of it all, where you're
Yeah.
like, oh, and it's a Marvel game, and I guess they're just doing this stuff. Don't you feel like after the success of the first Marvel Spider-Man, that Marvel was like, oh, people want all of our characters in every different play style of video games. So we'll give them that Avengers game that's bad. We'll give them
Right.
Midnight Suns. We'll give them
Rivals.
Marvel Rivals. Yeah, whatever this
Yeah.
thing is. Yeah.
Could be.
Marvel
And I mean,
Watch.
it's interesting. They do have a lot of voice talent in this game. Like the Spider-Man voice actor is Yuri Lowenthal, the guy who does
Oh,
it in the
wow.
main games.
Whoa.
Blade is Michael Jai White, right? Who's like,
Wow.
pretty
Black
known
Dynamite.
actor. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, I think like the Captain America guy is the guy who voices him in Earth's Mightiest
Chris
Heroes.
Evans?
Yeah, Chris Evans. Nico Minoru, actually. So there was a Marvel Runaways live action show several years ago,
Yeah.
right? Before they all went to Disney Plus streaming and stuff.
Mhm.
Hulu original.
Yeah, I never watched it, but the actress that plays Nico Minoru in that is the voice actress in this game. So it's like crazy that they're getting like these actual different people to play these in this game.
Weird.
You
Yeah.
remember playing Miko Minoru?
Nico Minoru.
Do you want to do that
favorite.
again?
I guess.
You're paying, right? All right.
for
And she does
Continuity?
magic. Yeah, she does like witchcraft and stuff. And her playstyle is all based around sort of chaos and randomness, which is fun. Magic makes portals, and you can push people through portals and stuff.
That's dope.
Wolverine is one of the best because he can just run around and slash people, and he's got regenerating health and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Captain America is like your tank because he just takes all this damage from his shield and stuff, so you can use him as the tank. Captain Marvel is like the strongest. She's just like fucking going crazy because she's Captain Marvel.
But also on dates, she's asking you if she looks fat in this dress, and you're like,
Yeah.
God, Carol, like, get over yourself.
Should
Well,
I
the
grow
book
my hair
club-
long again?
that I told you about, the book club, is like the funniest part of it to me because it's like basically Blade asks you to join his book club that he's starting
And
because
it's Michael Jai White. Is so funny.
Yeah. the Blade wants to start this book club because he mentioned it to Captain Marvel, who he has a crush on, and he wants to use this book club to get to know Captain Marvel better. And he's
Oh,
like, will you join
man.
it to like make it less awkward? But then Captain America overhears them talking about it, and then he wants to join the book club because he thinks Blade wants to become better friends with him. And it's this whole
Dang.
Honestly, that
situation.
fucking sucks, dog. Like,
I
that's
know, it's
truly
not
like
It's
the
good.
worst
Yeah.
thing I've ever heard.
City high school dating sim plot. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. It feels very out of place in this Marvel
Yeah.
Avengers game.
That's Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah,
That's not
yes.
Marvel.
It's
Oh,
that's why
man.
it's truly the combat is so fun, but the in between stuff is so
It's so
mid and like
crazy.
feels
We,
so out of place. Yeah,
We described the Final Fantasy remake in terms of you have to grind the story to get to the combat, you know?
yeah, it's a
And
lot like that.
It's like that.
And you can't just skip over this stuff pretty quickly, but it's like this is like the story of the game. It's like all this dialogue that it's just annoying. All the characters are like quipping. Like Iron Man is like doing like a bad Robert Downey Jr.
Of
impression.
course.
It's just like I don't care about any of this.
No.
It's like you're Blade. Why are you starting a book club? You're a fucking vampire hunter. What are you talking about?
Daywalker, yeah, dude. I
Will
just
you
wanna-
pass Carol this note?
Yeah,
No.
dude.
But
Pretty
it's,
sure you
know,
would be. Yeah, that's really
you
silly.
get different outfits and stuff that you can put them in, so that's fun.
All right, I want to get away from that. Mike, tell
Wow.
us a better game that you're playing.
But
So
I
here's
recommend it because the combat is good, and if you like XCOM or tactical combat turn-based
I
kind of
don't
games,
know.
like it's pretty fun. Yeah.
Just spam through the talking, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch a video. I think, Colin, you beat this game a while back, and recently, friend of the show, X Kaita, came over and brought his Switch, and we started Metroid Dread.
Oh, hell yeah, dog.
And we beat like the first boss. It's like a weird lizard guy who like flips backwards or whatever. It's really cool. I like Metroid Dread a lot, running through, hiding from enemies.
Weird atmosphere.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a vibe. I like I've never really like played Metroid seriously. Like I tried Prime like on an airplane in an emulator, but like
Right. It's a
Yeah.
Metroidvania.
yeah, which
God,
without that there's no
fucking-
Dark Soul.
That's what I was thinking because
Vin can't get his mitts on this. We can't get a cartoon based on Metroid.
Right.
Come on.
We've never had an adaptation that I know of any Metroid of any live action or anime
or F-Zero.
Captain
It's a
M,
shame.
just the mother
But
brain.
I was thinking
Mhm.
when you guys talked about earlier about Souls-like games, like Souls-like has now become the new Metroidvania, where it's like everyone wants to make this new thing, right? But used to be every indie game was a Metroidvania, right? Which is based on Metroid and Castlevania.
I was
Darkwing Duck
literally gonna
was
say,
yes.
Yeah.
the distinction is the indie. It'll be interesting going forward how cheap things can get if you can keep doing a Dark Souls as an indie, a Soulsborne as an indie studio. That's interesting, Jacob.
But
we've
it's
seen
this...
there's like Salt and Sanctuary is like a 2D side-scrolling Souls-like.
It's like
Yeah.
joining
We've seen
them.
every kind of Souls-like at this point.
But it's the DNA of a Metroid of no direction, and you're like gate kept because of the abilities. Very much like
You're
Zelda
going around
is
this
the same
map.
thing.
Yeah, you can't get into certain areas until you get the right key or the right tool.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
like
game
that's
called
baked
Animal
into
Well
it.
that came out recently. I don't know if you guys heard of Animal Well, which was
No.
made it's made by the one guy basically, and it was published by Video Game Donkey's company that he game company they
that's
made
right.
called Big Mode, right? So
Video
it's very
game
zeitgeisty.
donkeys? What did you just say?
Whoa,
Video Game
you don't
Donkey,
know Donkey?
the YouTuber.
No.
You got a sick
donkeys.
backlog.
Very famous YouTuber. His name is Donkey.
Dunkey.
But he created his own video
His
game
name is
publishing
Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
I wish.
But he created a video game publishing company called Big Mode, and their first game is called Animal Well, and it's created by this one guy who made it. It's like an indie game. It's supposed to be this really crazy Metroidvania with a ton of secrets that you can find and stuff. So
Yes,
Oh, whoa.
that's awesome.
yeah,
Nice.
so it's very in the zeitgeist right now. So check that out. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be really good. Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, you guys see anything, games that are coming out this year that seem exciting? There was one I saw that's called Mecha Break, and it looks like it's specifically PvP Armored Core style. And I'm
Mech
like,
Assault.
yeah, but it's just, or like, it's more like Virtua On in the arcade, if you remember
Yes,
that. Like a modern
sure.
version of Virtua On. And it's like, I beat Armored Core with a flight stick. I need another game like that. So if it's just PvP, I might climb the ranks with my flight stick. So that looks interesting, but
That's very cool. We should
Other
talk
than that,
about like
it's
the
just
summer
Elden Ring.
games.
Yes, we just had the
News and
preview
stuff.
for everything. Maybe
Yeah.
there will be direct
Oh, Doom.
next week after this, but Mike, the new Doom, medieval Doom. What
Yeah.
an idea!
it's so
There's a
sick
gun that
looking.
uses skulls as ammo. It
Yeah,
crushes
a
up skulls and
shield.
it shoots the bone shards out.
I am
Um,
still miffed with them and the way they treated Mick Gordon, the guy who did the soundtrack for Doom and Doom
Same.
Eternal. And so
Same.
he's no longer working with them. And I'm like, Hugo Martin, you son of a bitch. How could you do that to
Oh.
Mick Gordon?
They really did him wrong, and his soundtrack was a huge part of those games, obviously.
Yeah. So, I mean, so the DLC, the Old Gods or whatever for Doom Eternal was good, but it wasn't his music. And there's not as many slappers. Like almost every track in Doom 2016 is a slapper.
It's going
So-
so hard.
Right.
That game goes
So-
so hard.
I'm stoked for it. And because it's medieval and it feels removed from Eternal and the other one, I think I'll be okay with the soundtrack being whatever they do with it because it's, you know, a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited for it.
Yeah,
I mean, I have a Doom
just-
statue in my PC still from 2016. Like, I love that
That's so cool.
franchise.
Yeah.
And you gave a thumbs
absolutely.
up to the last one, the platforming one. You liked that one?
Yeah, I like it. I think Doom Eternal are great. And with Samus, shout out Samus, without Metroid, there's no Doom guy. Not like with the helmet as we know him. You know, that's
Sure.
straight up thanks to her.
But I was thinking
Yeah.
about this what we were talking about earlier because it's just interesting. Like everyone kind of likes different kinds of games because the new Doom's not really doing it for me in the same way because I'm just not that into that property.
Right.
But I'm happy for all the Doom fans out there that they're getting a new Doom game. But I was
Yep.
sending you the gameplay trailer of the game that I was most anticipating that's coming out, I believe, in August.
Yeah.
And that's Star Wars Outlaws.
Yes.
I watched the whole showcase today
yeah.
to like give it a chance, but yeah, open world Star Wars. It looks kind of interesting.
Yeah. And you said you weren't into it, but that's okay. You know, it's Ubisoft open world game. Ubisoft has, you know, questionable practices as a company for sure. Hit or miss
Mhm.
games, but I've played, you know, a lot of Ubisoft games in the past. And sometimes I just like a mindless open world game where I'm just going around clearing settlements or whatever, you know, in Far Cry. But this is open world Star Wars game. You travel in a spaceship, you go to different planets, very Starfield-esque, but potentially better than Starfield, doing what Starfield wanted to do.
Right.
And then you land on Tatooine, go to Mos Eisley Cantina, you walk around in the streets, there's people selling you,
Death
whatever
sticks.
they're selling you. Yeah. Death
Probably
sticks.
Death Sticks.
Yeah.
And you play a scoundrel who's maybe working, doing good stuff for the rebels, but also doing scoundrel stuff.
We're gonna talk Star Wars pretty soon.
That's right.
And regardless of whatever I think the TV landscape is, the video games I am positive to, like the Outlaw or I'm
Jedi
sorry, this
Survivor.
is Outlaw. Survivor. I thought those were very good. So is this tied to that universe at all,
And
Jacob?
that's
Do you know?
Well, it's tied to in that it's Star Wars,
right? I guess, but it's not. You won't see Cal Kestis.
No, I believe this
baby
is set
Joker.
between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So it's set during the original trilogy. And Survivor, that's the Souls-like Star Wars, of course.
Yeah,
right. Of course.
Geez.
And this is the Ubisoft open world Star Wars.
You need to double jump here later. Yeah.
The Metroidvania Star Wars.
Yeah. But this, I mean, it looks. You have a little buddy that's like a little guy that helps you.
Just like Cal
Seems like has.
They all have little buddies now. Don't use that.
And
look,
you gotta have a little buddy.
You gotta have a little buddy
that I can
sell
sell
buddies
as a product. Yeah.
This is different because it's not a droid. It's like a little alien animal.
It's a little buddy. I know.
I want a salacious crumb or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a little salacious
crumb.
But it seems like you can scout. So you scout out an area, and then you can infiltrate it. You can use stealth. You can go in guns blasting if you want. Very similar to like a Far Cry or something like that. But it has elements from Starfield that I obviously wanted Starfield to do better, where you're flying to a planet, and there's like it seems like a seamless transition where the loading screen is disguised in like the atmosphere of the planet, so you're going through, which is a lot more seamless than Starfield for sure.
Right. It seems that there's mechanics. There's like cartels, like all the Rising Sun or whatever, and the huts, and so like depending on who you're aligned with, they'll fuck with you or leave you alone. Like you'll be in their sector, and maybe they'll like chase you down because their boss is pissed at you.
There's like a reputation system.
Yeah,
and I mean, come on, who doesn't want to just walk around Mos Eisley and just see that in
I just want to hang out with Greedo,
Like, Jabba's here. That's cool.
yeah.
So
if it's set between those movies, you'll see a Carbonite Han Solo. I guarantee it.
That would
like buy him
go to
in
Jabba's palace. Yeah,
I guarantee.
Yeah, well, Boba's palace eventually.
Right. Yeah.
As we know in the great Star Wars
Fortuna's palace, a big fat Bib Fortuna.
Yeah, it seems a large bib when he's eating.
I was already looking forward to that because I was like, open world Star Wars seems like a cool idea. And then when I saw that gameplay trailer, I was like, man, I am sold. I don't even like. It might be mid when it comes out, but I'm sold.
You'll have to stream it for me. I'll see if there are some aspects that it grew on me, but my favorite Ubisoft game is Shadow of Mordor, and that's not even them.
Right.
It's just like copy their style.
Yeah.
But the big one everyone's talking about, speaking of Sekiro and whatever, is the Assassin's Creed? Japan.
Assassin's Creed, yes.
We're doing Yasuke and Ninja.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yasuke, there's been a lot of discourse
annoying people
around that. Yeah, of course,
figure.
Because you have all these fucking dumbass grifter YouTube people that have to make it a controversy, but
rage bait.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, I haven't played a ton of the Assassin's Creeds, but I'm like, okay, we're gonna do a Yasuke. That's fine. We were talking about what would you do if you did like a Shogun prequel, right? It would be like because Yasuke was with Nobunaga.
That's right.
And it's like, who knows how much crazy shit he did in real life? My guess is not a lot. But
yeah, but those games are
doesn't
not
matter, right?
Based in reality, like there was no such thing as like a League of Assassins that spans multiple different cultures and time periods.
Yes, there is.
Right.
The Illuminati exists.
Yeah.
No, and it's it's a work of fiction. Who cares, guys?
Yeah, and those newer Assassin's Creed games are fun. I mean, I played Odyssey. Huge open worlds. Valhalla is supposed to be pretty good. The Viking one. And yeah, this one's gonna be set in Japan. And you don't just play it, you play as Yasuke, the Black Samurai, of course, and then you play as a female character who's more stealth based, it seems. So if you want to go in,
female.
sort of guns blazing. You play as Yasuke, or you can switch to what'd you say?
Well, Kunoichi, like a female ninja.
Yeah. I don't remember her name, but you can switch to her for a more stealth, silent approach. So you can switch between the two main characters at any time, it seems like, and do missions as either one. So people are going to find reasons to get mad at it because obviously, whatever. But fuck those people.
Yeah, no, screw that. I'm trying to find the name. Oh, Naoe.
Naoe.
That's cool. Naoe. But yeah, I mean, fuck those people. And I was like, when Assassin's Creed first was coming out, and then they did a different time jump. Like, all I thought, years back, was just do it in Japan. And it's like they finally done it. All right. So here, it's the perfect IP for that. But it just makes me want to go play Tenchu. The old Tenchu games, because
I never played it, but I remember being like, do a Native American, and then they did that Revolution one. I was like, that's cool, great, you did it.
Yep,
they've done that. They've done England. They've done
Pirates.
Greece,
Pirates. There's one where you fight the Pope, and then I believe Da Vinci gives you his glider to go kill the Pope. He's like, we got to kill the Pope.
Obviously, that happened in real life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you don't understand. These games are woke. Okay, they've gone woke.
That's right.
Go woke,
because they're referencing a historical person.
Yeah,
who
a real person.
What's the Grand Theft Auto where you jump between people that you are? Is that 5?
5.
Or 4?
That one's great.
Yeah, it's it sounds like that. Yeah. Who cares?
No, the thing too is, I think I mentioned this in Shogun, or at least I was rolling this around in my head. It's what would you do if you want to make a samurai game? Because we already have Sekiro, we already have Ghost of Tsushima. Right, we already have Neo, which is about Blackthorn, basically. Yep. Right,
and
so
Neo
what the fuck else can I do that's interesting?
Side character too.
Right. So what do I do to shake it up and not have generic, whatever? Use Yasuke. No one's done that yet. I get why they did. It's distinct. So
yeah,
chill out. So maybe that'll be interesting. But yeah, Ubisoft, they're doing it.
Ubisoft, they're doing it.
I'm excited for Monster Hunter Wilds. That's the big one I'm looking forward to there.
Capcom.
Our friend Xkaida loves the Monster Hunters, of course.
They're the best.
Maybe I'll finally get into it there. And all of this
big gaming announcements that we should talk about. I don't know.
Not that I think are major. I think that pretty much covers it.
Just that Xbox announced a bunch of stuff, and people are like, "Oh, pretty good."
Xbox is done. Is basically what's going on.
But people are saying that Xbox, showcase or whatever, people saying it was the best one in years because they just announced all this crazy shit.
Oh, here's
Perfect
the thing.
Dark and
just an industry note before we get out of here. Fable could be interesting. I like the first one a lot. I never played the second one. No, I did play the second one.
Fable, now that they can, it seems like Fable promised a lot of stuff, and then it's like, oh, the limitations of hardware at the time, they weren't able to do everything they want to do. So maybe now, since games have come so far, that they can kind of do everything they wanted to do with those games.
The promise of a morality system where you change the story, and it's you can only really be good or evil. It's not really that many shades of gray,
Right.
But I do like.
But how many things are going to become ripoffs? We said Metrovania, we said Soulsborne, a Baldur's Gate type. How many things are going to chase that dragon?
That's what the, speaking of dragons, the new Dragon Age trailer that I saw seems very oh, you guys like Baldur's Gate? You guys like companions? We got companions. Check this out.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Dragon Age has always been about your companions, your party and stuff, but they're really leaning into that with this trailer. And I did not love the aesthetics of this trailer, the sort of art design. Very different from Dragon Age Origins, which is the one I'm most familiar with. But
sure,
we'll see what happens with that. It seems almost like a Borderlands. Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see. It seems like they were trying to Borderlands it up with the aesthetics, and I was not feeling it.
Fair. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other major stuff. I just want to say it sucks that they lay off a ton of people and close studios and then make these announcements. We're here to support our devs. It's you just fired them all. So that's a little bad.
The state of the game industry is still very bad.
And I think if I can tinfoil it, right, it's all right, we'll fire everybody. And then we'll just blame, we can use anything as an excuse. We have to use AI. It's too expensive to make this shit. We don't have, it's, even when a studio makes a good game, they got canned. So it has to be.
Well, that's the thing is there seems no rhyme or reason to it because the studio that made Hi-Fi Rush, which was a critically acclaimed game.
Yeah.
and it's like, oh well, what are the metrics for like, oh, this studio needs to be closed down because it's a critically acclaimed game that sold well, and you still shut them down. So
yeah. So then, do we just buy companies to shut them down to then remove actual creative competition? Like, is it that stupid and petty, or is it just bad business?
Probably.
Or do we just want to create only loot boxes eventually? Like, I know the heads of the major studios, like, can I only have loot box games, please? And like, luckily, indie studios are stepping up, now. But
yeah,
yeah,
well, that's the
play
thing
some
with
indie games too.
Microsoft. It's insane how much they own now. Where it's like, oh, they own Activision, they own all these different companies,
Blizzard,
and
Bethesda.
there's this whole umbrella. Yeah, they own Bethesda,
Not
they own
Bethesda,
Blizzard,
not Blizzard, but
Activision, Mojang that makes Minecraft and everything. Like, they just buy out all these smaller companies, and they've got this whole org chart of all these different things that they own. And it's like, maybe
Obsidian,
one company
Ninja
shouldn't
Theory,
own
Rare, 343, id Soft.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, yeah, it's too much.
Midway, Atari. I mean, they own the classics.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to break
They
up
even own
monopolies.
King that makes like Candy Crush and stuff. They own that.
Oh,
Jeez,
So
yeah, okay.
maybe it's bad that one company should own so many different things.
Yeah, anyway, that's a note on that. So look up some stuff, like you said. Video Game Donkey has, his company. Support
Animal
indie
Well.
games too. Animal Well, yeah.
Check it out. It's a Metroidvania.
Yeah, and let us know if there's going to be another Dynasty Warriors in 2025.
Wow.
I guess things are going to be all right.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that
that's the
till right
spirit.
now. Anyway, no, but some good gaming going on. Elden Ring will be good. I think From Software is more fairly ethical, asterisks as needed. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well,
What's
a lot
that?
of good gaming news on the horizon. Yep.
Another segment I hear coming up. Oh, geez. We'll be right back after this. Game off.
We're back here on Normies Like Us. We're wrapping things up, but first we're going to do a quick segment to wrap out our Whatcha 299. It's a special segment where we're going to talk a little bit about the history of this podcast, just a little bit.
I'm intrigued.
It's not that exciting. So the name of this segment is Cliff Notes, Cliff Normies.
Okay.
Wow, that's right. Cliff Notes, Cliff Normies. We're going to give just some Cliff Note thoughts of our overall thoughts on the long form series that we've covered. So those specifically would be something like Pirates of the Caribbean, Transformers, Star Trek, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. I'm throwing Mad Max in there too. Did I miss any?
Long
Planet of
The
the Apes.
Hobbit, technically we're in the middle of the Planet of the Apes at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that covers them.
Planet of the Apes might not qualify here, but so the purpose is I'm going to ask you questions, and you're going to think out of all those franchises, what is the answer you pick? So, for instance, here's the example. I might say something like, what's your favorite vehicle from those franchises? And you'd have to weigh either out loud or in your mind, God, is Optimus Prime better than the Millennium Falcon, better than the Black Pearl, and better than a Harry Potter broomstick? And I'm very curious what your answers would be. So let's start there.
A Nimbus
What would you guys say to
3000.
that?
Oh,
Mad Max's car.
Yeah.
Mad Max's car, of course.
The black
Or
on
anything.
black
I mean,
is pretty
truly
sweet.
anything you guys could think of. You could say the war rig. It doesn't have to be the hero car or vehicle.
Wow. That's a lot of... That's all right. So out of all the things we've covered, I wouldn't want a pirate ship because being a pirate seems lame.
Where would you park the Black Pearl, Mike? It would be impossible.
I don't go to the beach, so that's the bottom tier. I don't think I would want a Transformer either. Would you guys want a Transformer, like your vehicle to be sentient?
I mean, that's kind of the ultimate, because then you have a buddy.
That's
Because if I had
Bumblebee,
hanging out with Bumblebee, that would be pretty awesome. Yeah.
just playing the radio, that's kind of neat. But then
Like,
also
you guys are hyper jumping in the Millennium Falcon. I'm with Bumblebee. Like, we're having fun.
Yeah.
Dang, that's
I think
true.
for me, my answer might be kind of obvious, but I feel like it's got to be the Millennium Falcon for me. I mean, first of all, I got to choose something in space so I can fly around in space. So it'd either be like an X-wing or the Millennium Falcon, or I guess like the Enterprise if you want.
No, I'm saying I think Enterprise D. That's what I'm doing. I'm living on the Enterprise.
Versus the Millennium Falcon. I think the Enterprise is cooler, right? I don't know.
And safer.
D is Picard's Enterprise.
Picard's Enterprise,
yeah. That's my favorite for sure. Like,
I mean, I like the NX-01, but I wouldn't want to live on it.
No,
Yeah.
it's too primitive. They didn't have all the great technology yet.
You know
that
what?
they
No,
have
maybe
in
Pike's
Next
Enterprise
Generation.
from Strange New Worlds is good too.
That's a good one too. I'm surprised you didn't
Yo,
say
maybe
Archer's
the evil.
Enterprise.
What's
Yeah.
I was gonna say the
You don't
evil
wanna live
black
there.
one.
Oh, the Dreadnought. Give me the Dreadnought from the
Dreadnought,
movies.
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely not Abrams.
Or a Borg
You would,
cube. Yeah.
no, you want to be on the Enterprise D or any Enterprise that has holodeck technology because then you'll never get bored.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's a great point, Mike. That's really
Yeah.
interesting.
The
Okay.
Archer's
Yeah, you gotta have a
Enterprise doesn't
holodeck.
have that. You're just
That's
sitting
right.
on
Bumblebee,
metal
I can't
pipes.
download my brain into Bumblebee.
Right. And food replicator, like anything you
Yeah.
want. Yeah, the Enterprise is it.
Enterprise D is good. Classic, Next Generation, the show version.
But that's like now if you had a house instead of just a
Yeah.
car. Like it might be going
True.
beyond the rules. But
Yeah.
I think that counts. It's a vehicle. It's
But I
the
would put
mode
it
of
up against the Millennium
transportation.
Falcon because obviously the Millennium Falcon is classic. Get to ride around with Han and Chewie.
You put it up against the Firebolt 600 or whatever it's
yeah,
called.
right.
Nimbus
Oh,
3000.
man.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, the Firebolt's the other one, right? But yeah,
You could ride around as a
hollow chest
dragon,
versus
I guess.
hollow deck, man. I mean, dragons are
Yes.
cool, but
Yeah.
I could do that
Oh, a
virtually. in
dragon's
holodeck.
a good answer too. Smaug. Is Smaug a means of
Smaug.
transportation? Or those giant eagles? Or those,
Yeah.
Smaug from the cartoon with his little cat face. That's the one that I want. Just pet him. The barrel. The answer is the barrel from The Hobbit.
Yes,
the
the barrel
barrel
secrets from the Hobbits is the
So you
answer.
float down a river.
The barrel.
I
That should
feel
be
good.
a ride in a theme park where you can ride in the barrels. in
There
The
should
Hobbit.
be.
Yeah, might as well.
My
I have
Hobbit
been
theme park
talked
that I'm
into.
creating.
I'm going with Enterprise D. I think Mike is right here.
I think that's the
Cool.
winner.
I think
Yeah.
that's the logical answer. We came to a consensus. there.
Data's correct. Yes, nice. I like that.
You can
All right, next
join-
question.
Have a little jazz concert or something with Riker.
Riker's trumpet.
I'm
or whatever.
playing. I guess that's Deep Space Nine. I was gonna say catamaran, whatever it's called.
Deep Space Nine is a
Nine is
good
good,
alt
too.
though, because they have a holodeck as well, but you can't like go
And they have-
anywhere.
But we haven't
Well,
covered
what's
it. It doesn't
They
count.
have the ship though. They have.
Oh, it's
forget
not
what the ship is
transportation.
called.
Oh, the Dominion
Runabout.
or not? No, the
Oh,
it's the Dominion War.
Yeah, they get
What's
the
it
one
called?
ship in season
they get the
4.
Defiant,
The Defiant. That's what it's
Thank
called.
you.
but you
yeah.
don't live on the Defiant. Yeah, okay.
No.
Cool vehicle though.
All right, next question. Your favorite character overall between all these franchises?
Wow.
Oh,
I
the
think you got
Scargiver.
Han Solo. You've got okay.
No,
You know what I just thought? Sorry
This
to go
is
back
tough,
to
Colin.
the
Oh,
Enterprise
please go
D,
back.
but
Yeah.
does the Enterprise D count? Because we didn't cover the Next Generation
Didn't we?
show, which is what the D is on, because they get a new one in
No,
the
Picard
movies 'cause
goes
they
to the
crash
D.
it. But
What's
he
the
crashes it and then they
Generations
get the
one?
E, right?
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
I guess they start on the D, but he does crash it in.
What's the one where they're on
Generations.
the fake admiral ship? You know, doing the
Any
saying
of the
goodbye to war.
constitutions.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
the
alright,
second
okay.
one they get. Not. Thank you. You're right though.
Yeah.
But I think they're on the
Call
one
us
in
out.
Generations. Anyway. Not that
Yes,
nerd.
favorite character.
Favorite character in all these franchises, and again, Pirates, Transformers, Star Trek, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Mad Max.
That's hard.
I mean, Mike, Aragorn
Mm.
is on that list, dog.
Oh my
Picard,
god.
Kirk,
Even
Spock.
like yo
Spock versus
Sam-
like fucking Gandalf, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Samwise the goat.
Yes, Samwise the
Sparrow,
goat,
My
dog.
favorite actor.
Jack Sparrow, your favorite.
Well, I'm thinking I want
Salazar, Jacob.
Salazar from Salazar's Revenge.
I'm not gonna
Maria
lie.
or whatever her name is.
Anna Maria.
Barbosa.
Yeah.
Anna
Treasure.
Maria, thank you.
No, when you said this, Colin, my brain instantly, for a second, was like, yes, Elizabeth Swann. Pirates of the Caribbean 3, hat wearing
Yes.
Elizabeth Swann.
Elizabeth Swan.
If we're talking favorite Pirates character, Elizabeth Swann, I'm with you, dog. But
Barbosa,
out of all these
though.
properties,
Out of
I don't know that
everybody-
I'm going to Elizabeth Swann.
Barbosa #1 for Pirates, but Elizabeth Swan might be 2.
Wow.
Fair. But
Harry Potter, do you guys have a favorite, like, is anybody there in the mix? Is Dumbledore standing up against anybody?
Dumbledore. Maybe.
Is he
Maybe
standing up
Sirius
against Mad
Black.
Max
Sirius Black is my
Rockatansky?
Furiosa, dog.
Furiosa,
Furiosa.
dog.
That's pretty good. Oh. And they're going
Furiosa
to hang out with
stand
me on
against-
my spaceship?
Yeah.
my
Yeah, she
friend now?
comes up on the fucking Enterprise D with you.
She deserves it. She deserves it after what she's been through.
You show her the food replicator, Mike. She fucking weeps. She breaks down in tears.
And I'd say, yeah, exactly. You can have anything.
You put the
you
peach
want.
pit in there.
Legolas and Will Turner, my two favorite characters.
It's weird that we've done both.
Yeah.
If we're on the Enterprise with Furiosa, we can like get her talking to Deanna Troi, get her into some therapy. She can join Beverly Crusher's little yoga group. You know? It'll be great.
Fix that arm. Give her a real one, Mike. What was Charlize's character on the Seth MacFarlane? What was
Orville?
that called? The Orville. Yeah. Remember, she was on that,
name?
right?
Yeah, she was on it. I don't remember her
name. If you knew her name, I would be shocked.
Yeah. It's a good show, though, the Orville. Seth MacFarlane Star Trek.
Well, we get Galaxy Quest 2, technically.
That's right. Does Han Solo stack up against Furiosa in your mind, Mike?
Ooh. Oh, man. You know
what? Would I
rather
rather have with me when I'm trying to get out of the scrape? I don't know.
I think I'm
pretty useful.
I still think I like Furiosa more. Han
She's a great pick, man.
Yeah, he's really charming, and he's he's cool and whatever. But
think about this: if you put Han in Mad Max land, would he survive? I think he would do pretty well. Yeah.
If you took Max up on the starship, he would kill you and then kill himself, though. So you cannot get him up there.
Yeah.
Max's favorite hobby is not being around people.
Yes, it's like he like cannot survive. But Han in the wasteland would be like, "What's all this? Like, come on now."
I think you do pretty
Him and Lando would be fine.
Yes, they would. They'd be warlords.
More capes. Great. Like Lando, we're wearing capes again. Heck yeah!
Hey, this is my crew.
Yeah. Oh man, they'd be running the water between the gasoline. They would do great down there. I'm still on Furiosa.
So I'm gonna give you guys my answer because I'm locked into it.
Okay.
My favorite character across all these franchises. We brought him up in the last question. His name is Bumblebee.
Wow. That's cool.
Perfect first movie that totally reinvents the character. Literally how he's written with the radio thing changes how that character's written going forward.
Radio.
Mm-hmm.
And then his last appearance is what a redemption in the fucking Bumblebee movie. Like they fix him, you know?
It's definitely the best
of
the Transformers
movie.
too. Dang. John,
I'm going to go with, for my final answer, I'm going to say Spock. Leonard Nimoy Spock. Not Zachary. Zachary Quinto, get the fuck out of here. Leonard Nimoy.
So you're 2 for 2 on Star Trek answers then.
I might be, yeah.
Wow.
I wonder if I could too, because I have to keep curious. There's a lot of good Star Trek characters, though.
Were you thinking Picard?
No, I wouldn't want to hang out with Picard. Like, he's fine. I'm trying to
Were you thinking Kirk, Mike?
Never Kirk.
Okay.
Pike. Like, Pike's like the coolest.
Pike would be good.
Pike, yeah.
But it has to be the Bruce Dern Pike because it's the one we've covered.
Yeah.
That's true, so we can't have
Bruce
that.
Greenwood, yeah.
Or Bruce, Bruce Greenwood. I wouldn't want that one. No, get out of here.
Terrible conversationalist. Let's do.
I like Strange New World Spock too, but not you.
But that not in the movies. You're right. No, I'm stick with Furiosa. She deserves a good life on a spaceship.
I love it. Furious is a great answer. Spock is a great answer, guys. All right.
And Bumblebee's good too.
Yeah.
Well, how about on the other spectrum? Do you have a favorite villain from any of these franchises? So we talked about as a character, Han Solo, things like that. We weren't saying best character. Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker,
or
one
Palpatine.
Of the greatest. How does he stack up against a Morton Joe?
Or Barbossa.
Right.
You know,
or
who becomes an ally, but still.
Sauron.
Yeah. Sauron, maybe not the best. Gollum, I don't know. Yeah.
Dementus.
Yeah, Dementus.
I still think,
Darth
like
Vader's
I said it in
gotta
the
be king.
Furiosa episode, Dementus, best Mad Max villain.
Wow.
For my money.
Better than Tokar.
Probably better than Tokar.
Better than Lord
Better
Humongous.
than Auntie-Entity. Yeah.
Better than Master Blaster. Darth Vader is really hard to beat, I think,
Darth
as far
Vader's
as villains.
You get the whole Anakin arc.
You get the
he's so
prequel
fleshed
Anakin,
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Morton Joe's like
Kylo
a
Ren.
version of Darth Vader. Like he's a mechanical man, you know, it's like with a mask.
It's so interesting that he's what you got in 1977, Mike, which is a perfect character with no backstory, which is it's like Morton Joe's perfect. He's Morton Joe. He is Darth Vader in the first time you see Star Wars. You're like, I don't know anything about that guy, but he's perfect.
Yeah.
But now knowing what you know about Darth Vader makes him pretty perfect too, right?
Yeah.
Dementus is better. Versus What are the villains?
Tom Hardy,
Davy Jones.
Picard. Tom
Spock's
Hardy's
brother.
Picard.
Davy Jones, one of our favorite characters from the
Yeah.
Pirates franchise. We didn't bring him up at all. A perfect
Davy
No.
Jones is a good one.
Yes, Sarek. What was that guy's name, Mike? What's Spock's brother's name?
Oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now.
Yes,
Spock's-
Sarek was the villain.
Sarek's
in
his dad.
Galaxy
I'm sorry.
Quest, right?
Yeah. Or yes, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah.
Cybok.
Which technically we did cover,
Cybok.
so you can't answer Galaxy Quest. And you
know
can't
what?
answer Muppet Treasure Island. You can say Billy Bones.
Yeah, Tom Hardy
Sweet Tooth,
Picard
Sweetums.
clone
Yes,
is a great answer, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's Cybok.
Voldemort, he who shall not
Cybok.
be named.
Voldemort.
Cybok,
Voldemort,
Spock's
man,
brother.
what a performance. Mike, Ray Fiennes from The Menu, your fucking favorite.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, let me cook you a
head-to-head.
burger.
Like Voldemort and Darth Vader. Like Voldemort's the closest thing to Darth Vader that we've had created, like as a
Yeah.
fictional villain. I
Voldy,
think.
he's pretty bad. He's like a wizard Nazi, which is bad.
Yeah, but
Um,
Darth Vader's like a space Nazi, which is also bad.
yeah.
Um,
Pirates, you have, well, I guess Barbossa. You have the evil English guy.
Oh, Norrington and
Salazar.
whatever that other
Norrington.
guy's name is. Yeah.
Yeah, the East India Trading Company. I don't know.
Probably not up there for me.
Transformers, you have the Fallen. Such
That's
enemies.
right.
You
as
got
the
fucking
Fallen.
Megatron, Mike.
You got Megatron.
Fucking
Megatron.
Megatron.
We haven't mentioned Megatron.
You've got Omicron. What are the other villains?
Yeah,
Unicron.
Omicron, Percy I-8.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I
Get
like
the
when
Leonard Nimoy
Megatron
one,
wears his
right?
little cape to keep the sun out of his eyes. Like you're metal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
I'm
Galvatron.
Galvatron.
Yep.
What was the Leonard
Dang.
Nimoy voiced?
The Fallen, right?
He's an
Fallen?
original Prime. No, the
Oh.
Fallen's the second one. He's some other Prime.
Sentinel
from the third
Prime
one.
or something?
Sentinel
It
Prime.
very well might be.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
well.
He's the guy that, and then Optimus Prime says, "Give me your face," and he
Give
kills
me
him.
your
Yep.
face.
Yeah, greatest villain. Optimus Prime is the villain.
It very well could be too. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cade Yeager, my favorite villain.
Sheesh.
Hey, what are you doing?
What?
Hey,
Man.
your little Transformer.
I'm going to say
rollers?
Morton Joe. I think Morton
Morton
Joe's
Joe?
my favorite.
Wow.
out of
That's
those.
pretty
He's
sick.
so Trump. He's the most accurate villain.
Yeah. No. And
I'm gonna say, does Kylo Ren count as a villain?
Yes, we
Yeah.
did those movies for sure.
Look, I'm on record saying I love Kylo Ren, of course,
do?
and
Mhm.
I think he's a better version of Anakin from the prequels. So I'm gonna say
You love the
Kylo Ren.
third movie specifically. You love when they
Yeah.
say somehow Palpatine returned.
Mhm.
I like when he turns back into Ben Solo and then dies.
Smooches.
Gives a
And
little
dies.
Rey
You
a
like when he does that
kiss.
little shrug
Yeah.
when he kills the Knights of Ren when he's like,
I do like that.
Yeah.
I do like
That
that.
But just to piss off all the
Yeah.
Star Wars fans out there, I'm going to say Kylo Ren is a better version of Anakin Skywalker.
General Grievous.
Mike.
No, it's Darth Vader. It's Darth
Count Dooku.
It's Darth Vader. Two Star Wars. That makes sense. Star Wars has great villains.
Vader. Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you're locked in with Joe. Great.
I'm locked in with the Morton Joe.
Nice.
This is a big one. Just your favorite movie out of all the franchises. So the one you would say I could watch this
Ooh.
over and over and over again.
With the
really
Lord of the
hard.
Rings. Oh
Talking
man.
Two Towers. We talking Return of the King. We talking Fellowship here.
For Lord
For
of the
me-
Rings, it's Fellowship.
got
'cause it's
Lord
the
of
most
the Rings.
complete
Yeah.
as a single unit, right?
We got also, Star Wars. You got to put like Empire Strikes Back up
Empire
there.
would be my choice of star. There's nothing in Transformers I'm even thinking about.
Yeah.
And then it's Fury
Harry
Road.
Potter.
There's
Yeah.
nothing in Transformers you're even thinking
I would
about.
say,
That's
Prisoner
great.
of Azkaban
Or
is my
Pirates.
favorite Harry Potter, but it doesn't really
What's my
compare to-
favorite one, Jacob? What's the one where they go to the Olympics? The Wizard
4.
Olympics?
Oh, the Goblet of Fire. Yeah.
Goblet. I like Goblet of Fire.
Prisoners of Azkaban.
Cedric Diggory.
Best Harry Potter movie for sure. But I wouldn't put it up there with like Lord of the Rings and Star
Yeah,
Wars.
is it better
No.
than Empire Strikes Back?
Like Black Pearl is not. It's like you can.
Star
that's
Trek,
what
I would
Black
it's
say-
Pearl.
made.
Black Pearl would
It's
knock
fun.
out a lot for me.
Yeah, Black
Yeah.
Pearl is a very good movie.
The top 3 for me, it has to be in no order. It's like Fury Road, Empire, or Fellowship of the Ring. One of those would have to win, and I think because it's more
That's-
chill, it would be Fellowship. I think I'm going to pick Fellowship as much as I love Fury Road.
That's a great top 3. I think I might have the same
That
top
is
3.
good.
I might throw in like Wrath of Khan if I'm thinking Star Trek.
Oh, fuck.
Hmm,
Wrath of
David.
Khan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm going just rewatching, like I can start it and just rewatch it every second, my answer is Return of the Jedi. I'm just locked in number one.
Return of the
Well,
Jedi.
that's the consideration too, is like runtime. I love Fellowship Extended, but I can finish Fury Road in 2 hours, you know?
Yeah. That's a hard one because I don't even like. I would pick maybe one of the original Star Wars trilogy, but I don't even know because I would say A New Hope is also great too. So I could say any of those three, really.
I think if I think of like a comfort watch, it's Fellowship every time. I love Fury Road, but I just feel good on a Sunday afternoon popping it on, cuddling down, you know? Yeah.
Fellowship is a great pick.
I'll lock in.
Wow. I might have to pick the same thing. I'll say
I'm shocked.
yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Maybe I'll say
It's a perfect movie.
it is. It is.
Mm-hmm. Dang. I'm locked in, but
Yeah.
you guys
I'll say
still
Fellowship
flipping it around?
Remember when Joe revealed on our Fellowship episode that he thought he didn't know that the whole plots were like spread out? So he's like, they're going to destroy this ring in this first movie? This is insane. He's like, there's so much more to do.
Right. Oh man, so good. So are you Fellowship too, Colin? Or are you?
No, I'm Return. I'm sticking Return.
You're staying Return of the Jedi. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So
that's
two Lord of the Rings and a Star Wars. That makes sense.
Yeah.
These will go, I think, a little quicker in that they're more abstract. I think they're probably harder to think about. So just like top of mind, whatever comes to you.
Yeah.
Favorite kill in any of these franchises?
Oh.
I'll throw out just to say one to get you guys going. Mine truly is the funny Gollum biting off the finger, dropping into the volcano. It's so crazy.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
Well, we have mentioned multiple times. Give me your face. Like that's it's in the running.
It's a good kill. Sure, yeah. Voldemort exploding at the end of their last duel and turning into dust. That's fucking awesome. Any Star Wars duel is
Star
incredible.
Wars, of course. Even Obi-Wan when he duels Vader and then disappears and Vader's like stepping on his robe and stuff. That's to me that's
giving
like
it a little check.
Is he underneath this robe?
Where the hell did he go?
Bisecting Darth Maul is satisfying.
Menace.
Although he didn't die.
Maybe the best fight of all time, Mike.
It's the best lightsaber fight ever done, I believe. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But best kill, you might. Damn you, Transformers.
Snoke? I mean, better than Snoke dying. Everyone's favorite.
The Red Room, the fight in Last Jedi. I love that fight scene. I love that fight scene
when he just turns on the thing, shoots their eyeball. Yeah.
That sucks.
That was sick.
When
that is cool. Yes.
When Kylo and Rey team up and they're fighting all the Praetorian guards or whatever.
Praetorian Jack.
It's so weird that he's in that sequence. It's like, come with me. I'll teach you road war out in space.
Teach you how to road war. I should have
teach you space war.
I'm kind of wanting to pick Praetorian Jack instead of Furiosa to be my buddy. It's the
14-minute fight on the blacktop.
Stowaway.
That's maybe a good choice. Yeah.
But kill. I mean, even ripping Morton Joe's jaw off is satisfying.
Mask off and shit.
Marsov, witness me. Like that's like technically a kill. Like that's a cool moment.
Nux has a great
Nux's death is maybe the coolest death of all time.
Yeah.
Riptors!
Right, so are we separating?
Rips that engine out and everything.
Yeah, witness me. I'm going to, just for fun, stick with, give me your face. Give me your face.
I love it. I'm staying with Gollum. Funny.
Okay,
Jacob.
Yep, Jacob.
I'll say Snoke.
Wow,
because the twist of you don't know what Kylo's going to do, and then kills Snoke, and it's just such a anticlimax. I like that.
That's one of those things that really does mess with my logic for Star Wars, where I'm like, well, every lightsaber duel, you should just be trying to flick each other's like switch off. Like you should just be like fucking just like turning it off, like
Yeah, use the Force.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
I think honorable mention.
Use some little throwing knives. Am I right?
Oh man, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
The very first Mad Max, attaching the guy to the car and throwing him the hacksaw. That's like a fucking good one too.
Like we said, it inspires a movie. I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah. But I'll stick with give me your face. That's some good answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 more here. favorite comedy beat or joke in any of these movies.
Give me your face.
Wow.
Give me your face is pretty good. I'll let you guys think. The most recent one for me, it had to be on here. Piss Boy, Furiosa. I think that's
Piss
an
Boy.
all-time comedy moment.
Even
Piss
just him
Boy?
being like, yes, my engine, drink this piss.
Drink this
It's like,
piss.
Drink this piss.
That's very smart to use piss though, because water is such a
It's so smart,
precious.
but it's so funny.
Oh, that is so great.
But I was thinking, like, what's a comedy moment in like Harry Potter? I couldn't think of any.
Oh man.
Well, there's some. I don't know.
Dobby, I guess, just being like a goofball. I don't know.
Oh, remember when Dudley blew up really big and was floating? How funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of any iconic
Ron saying
ones.
some dumb shit, and then Hermione saying, "Oh, Ron, you're such a fool."
Yeah, it's like that
Leviosa.
sucks. Black Pearl,
Leviosa, not Leviosa.
one of the funniest movies we've ever covered. I mean,
Black
that
Pearl,
just has so many lines.
The opening gag with the mast coming into the dock
basically
is
anything Jack
fucking
Sparrow
iconic.
does in that movie is very.
But you
funny.
have heard of me.
That one's so much character building. Right now, I'm on riding in on the mast and stepping onto the dock, revealing a sinking ship. Like what a
That's a
I
great
love that
one.
dog.
Yeah.
That's a great moment.
it builds character too. It's really well done.
If I'm thinking like in Star Trek, I'm thinking like J.J. Abrams Star Trek, Chris Pine, Kirk
Jacob,
has some funny moments.
I was gonna say, tell me we're on the same page. Are you about to say, would you like a marshmallow?
That's good too. That's good. Yeah.
Marshmallow?
Love Spock.
Yeah, with his 3 marshmallow dispenser.
Yeah.
Or even just saving the whales. There's a movie where they save the whales.
Yeah, they go to San Francisco.
And
The
it's
punk,
Lord of the Rings.
the punk guy, Kirk Thatcher on the bus.
That's got to be your biggest comedy moment. Him telling him to turn that thing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Lord of the Rings, I think it's the end of the first disc of Fellowship. Where are we going? Like after Merry and Pippin volunteer to go on the quest, then that's how they end that scene. Like,
second breakfasts. I would say most Merry and Pippin scenes. Don't they know about 11sies?
Yep. Oh, we've had one, yes. But what about second breakfast? Like that's some good Lord of the Rings stuff.
I like when they're smoking that old Toby.
Hey. Smoking that Longfellow leaf.
Bottom
we
leaf.
are.
Yeah.
The old
long bottom.
Also in the extended cut when they're like, don't tell Treebeard, he wouldn't understand. It could be a distant cousin. Like,
yeah,
never know that we
when
found
they're
it.
smoking out in that basement, basically, and they find it. He's like, the long bottom leaf. He like gets so excited. It's great.
Great.
Some of the Hobbits movies are funny, I think, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, some of it. No.
The whole movie.
Yeah.
It's funny that it exists.
Dang.
Yeah.
I have to Black Pearl it. That's
that's good.
A great
Mike.
answer. That's a great
I'm staying
answer.
Piss Boy. Jacob, you're saying Star Trek?
Yeah, Star Trek.
Okay.
Punk guy on the bus.
Punk guy on the bus.
I hate. What's the name of the song? I hate me. You hate me.
And he wrote it too. So that's really
he wrote
good.
that for that. Yeah. Kirk Thatcher, our guy,
director of. Or no, he didn't.
Haunted
He
Mansion.
didn't direct Treasure Island, right?
He directed Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Directed on it.
Right, he worked on it, and then
Everyone's favorite. Yeah.
He's one of the heads of the
Brian
Dinosaurs
Henson,
TV show.
I believe, directed Treasure Island.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm a Kirk Thatcher.
All right, final question here on our Cliff Notes, Cliff Normies.
Cliff Norms. Yes.
We've been Cliff Norms. We've been talking about the franchises we talked about over the course of these 299 episodes here.
Wild.
Final question. What's your favorite tear-jerking moment in these movies?
Oh, wow.
I'd be shocked if we don't all pick the same one. I've got mine written down here. I really lock in
for proof.
From the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
My
the
treasure.
Treasure.
It could be.
That's a good one.
Honestly, that is up there, dog.
I'm kind of thinking, off the top of my head, I mean, Wrath of Khan, Spock,
Jacob,
and Kirk.
You were forever
thinking?
shall be my friend. I have it written down. That's
Wow.
For me, that's what it has to be.
That's got to be.
That's very, very,
but
very.
there's-
No, I
I
have.
don't know. Lord of the Rings has some moments.
I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you.
Yeah, Sam.
I'm going by myself. Of course you are, and I'm coming with you. A lot of the Sam stuff.
Oh, that is a
that's
great
good
line,
stuff.
Spike. God
Yeah.
damn. When was the last time I watched Lord of the Rings? I might be watching that tonight.
They're in theaters
Yeah.
again now, like limited,
Oh,
the
yeah.
extended cuts. It's crazy. But yeah,
Look,
watch
if we're
those.
including Planet of the Apes, we never talked about our favorite character, Taylor, and how many funny moments he has.
I would have said Koba as one of the villains.
Yeah.
He's very good.
for sure.
Koba's great villain.
Tearjerker when Hagrid brings out Harry and he thinks he's dead and he like tells him in front of everybody he's like crying. That's so sad.
That and Dobby dying.
Dobby dying. Yeah.
There's some sad moments in Harry Potter.
But nothing
Cedric
is
Diggory.
sad about Pattinson?
Who?
Yeah. No, Robert Pattinson. Was that Cedric Diggory, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a wizard, a vampire,
Star
and a
Wars
superhero.
has what?
Mad Max. I mean, Furiosa seeing that the green place is gone. I mean,
that's pretty.
That's very emotional.
That's pretty heavy.
Or seeing her mom get like crucified. That's pretty fucked up.
Jesus Christ.
Pretty crazy.
In her eyeball, like you said, man.
Yeah, crazy eyeball shot.
And nothing sad happens in Transformers. There's no emotions in Transformers movies.
It's like
I don't know when TJ Miller
saddest
gets,
thing.
When TJ Miller
Oh,
dies,
he does
so
die. That's right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey, we're trying to date my daughter?
Oh man, yeah.
I've got a card here. It says it's legal in the state of Texas.
When the splendid Agonid has to run away from Megatron.
Angharad.
Splendid, come back here.
Yeah.
No, Megatron. Our children will not be Decepticons.
Yeah.
What?
Who transformed the world?
Mike in the audience clapping.
Wow.
Thank you. Oh man. Yeah. Poor Angharad running around saving the day with Shia LaBeouf. What
My answer, is just
I read those comics, by the way, Mike. They were very good.
I meant to follow up. Did you? Yeah, you read them because he survives that battle.
Furiosa has to talk Splendid out of having an abortion. They're crazy. They are really good.
Yeah. And like when Martin Joe takes over, but they think he's dead because the siege takes a couple days, and then when he comes out, he's a Morden. He's a Morden.
It's so funny,
Joe.
Yep, but
we will McFeast.
Yo, when I read McFeast and Wordburger in that comic, I'm like, these were before.
And the Scrotus looks like the Scrotus in the movie.
It does. Yeah, I was really impressed. So those were written.
And Colossus, whatever his name is.
Who,
if I had to choose Little Sweetie, I'd choose Colossus as my Little Sweetie.
Yeah, he's okay.
Oh yeah,
I like that they let him live. They let him live after Fury Road.
Yeah, you saw that panel in the comic, right? When he's just chilling. It's like, you should learn what my dad used to do.
Show them your strength.
Yep. But I'm sticking with maybe. I'm going by myself. Of course you are, and I'm coming with you. It slightly edges out, but I can carry you. But maybe not though. One of those two.
Yeah, I'm sticking with you are and always have been my friend. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
When Spock, when he dusts himself off a little to like prepare himself blind and he turns to Kirk, it could truly, I'm just going to cry my eyes out thinking about it tonight. It's so powerful.
It's the defining moment of Star Trek cinema. It's the defining Star Trek moment, I would say.
It's like, the reason it was allowed to continue, Mike, because of the success of that film and because of the success of that moment.
And that one scene is the distillation of
then they had to
their friendship, the philosophy of species getting together, like the idea of doing the right thing for everybody, like sacrificing for the greater good. Like that's what the utopian ideal kind of, so that everybody's okay. Like what a...
Yeah. Also, if you're talking Next Generation, Data... sacrificing himself for Picard, also very sad. Similar kind of moment.
What's the name of his brother?
Oh, I already forgot. Cybok.
Not Lord. Not in
Data.
It's not
B4.
Yeah.
B4.
Oh, it's B4. Thank you, Jacob. You're right. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a tearjerker, but Han Solo, Leia, I love you. I know. That's like a pretty good moment.
That's a good one.
That's the most romantic moment out of all the films we've covered.
100%.
Sure.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Either that or Furiosa and Praetorian Jack.
That's true.
Head button.
Now for saddest, it was a trick question because the only acceptable answer is when Nova is killed and then Taylor says, we have to destroy this planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't.
Every one of you filthy monkeys must die.
My favorite character is Taylor and Brent.
So who would you take up on the Enterprise with you, Jacob? I'd take Brent.
Take
Oh.
Brent. Yeah.
I would take Brent over Taylor, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He's like knockoff
The
Taylor.
psychopath. You unfroze him? It's like dealing with one of the xenomorphs. So like, Jesus, Brent's on the ship. Get him off.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my god.
Probably try to steal a phaser or something and start shooting people.
Oh
I'm
man,
pretty
you're
handy
the
with
space
this
horse.
thing.
In 50. I'm sure you are. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That'll be fun.
Well,
to
that
get
was
back
Cliff
to the
Notes,
apes.
Normie Notes. Cliff something.
Norms. Cliff
I like
Norms.
that. Well, if we get more topics,
norms.
we can ask those kind of questions.
That
on
was
those as
good.
well, I think. But
Good
I
work on
hope
that,
people
Colin.
play to home
Setting
alone.
that up. Yeah.
No, that's
For sure.
really great. I enjoyed that a lot. This is good.
For our
And for
almost 300th episode,
that's right.
we talked about a lot of franchises, a lot of movies and things.
I hate
Yep.
them.
Many more.
A lot.
Exactly.
And who
we're
knows
doing
what we'll
this-
do next after Pirates?
We're being
Right
forced
after
to do
apes.
these.
Pirates of the Apes.
I wish the apes existed in the Mad Max universe. Like they had their own little village.
Yeah, Caesar. Caesar would be doing pretty well and
Yeah, you think he'd make it?
start his own
Alright.
community.
Well, let's wrap it
Okay.
up. We'll get to final thoughts at 295
Yeah.
with the Mad Monkeys right after this.
We're back, wrapping it up here on Normies Like Us. Wrapping up our 299 Whatcha, and it was another good one. I got a lot of great recommendations from you guys. I will watch Scavengers Reign for sure, but first, after this, I'm going to investigate this dinosaur show none of us knew anything about.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
crazy because
Here's one more, Cliff Norm.
Mm.
Favorite dinosaur? Do you have one?
Ooh. From Jurassic Park or just in general?
In general,
brought
not
him
maybe,
up.
just
For
generally
me, it's
speaking.
Sauron, Mike. The pterodactyl Sauron specifically from the X-Men.
Sure.
I just want to
is
turn
my
people into
favorite dinosaur.
pterodactyls.
Yes,
he's
I
he's
just
basically
wanted-
the lizard.
He is.
I just want to make more
That's
people
a
like
great way
me.
to put him.
Oh, man.
I always liked raptors. So
I like
Sharp tooth.
Velociraptors.
Sharp
Oh
tooth.
yeah, the sharp tooth from Land Before Time.
Bigfoot.
If it's from the movies, then Carnosaur from Carnosaur. The rip-off Jurassic Park.
I've never
sure.
seen that.
It's who's
course,
that
I
guy
like
who
Blue.
smokes-
Brachiosaurus.
I love Blue,
Right.
from Jurassic World.
Oh no. I'm trying to can't remember the director of Carnosaur. Have you guys seen it?
No.
No, I've never heard of that.
It's just like a rip-off Jurassic Park. Look it up. It's very low budget, but it was made and actually released before Jurassic Park made it to theaters because they just rushed
Oh wow.
it. It's very.
Oh, here's
silly.
a Cliff Norms favorite horror icon from a horror movie or franchise
And
that
we've covered. I mean, out of the ones we've covered, Candyman,
Candyman.
Mike Myers,
Friday
Guys-
the 13th,
Jason.
Jason,
yeah.
This is very good timing because
Hellraiser, Pinhead.
I
Yeah.
forgot to mention earlier that I went to Monster Palooza in Pasadena last weekend,
Right.
or a weekend
That's
before.
right.
And
you
I
got
saw-
those dope Godzilla prints.
I got Godzilla prints, but I saw, Doug Bradley and Kane Hodder and Nick Castle, the original Michael Myers, like all
Wow.
these horror icons.
Tony Todd.
Skeeter. Tony Todd was there. Yeah, it was very cool. The Chiodos brothers, Tom Savini. So it's actually
Wow.
good to bring that up. Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't meet any of them, but I saw them sitting at their tables doing their thing. And
Yeah.
Andrew Robinson, Garrick from Star Trek.
That is so
Hey.
cool. Andy
And
Robinson,
he was in-
Scorpio. Oh,
Mm.
Dirty
He was
Harry.
in
all I
he
think
was
about.
in Hellraiser.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
of
oh my
course, your
gosh, you're
favorite.
right.
That's true.
Yep.
Of the ones we just listed, I'm going to go off the broken path and say, or off the beaten path, and say that the one I had the most fun discussing with you guys, which is Pamela Voorhees. Because when we
Wow.
break down that first Friday the 13th and we get to her
Yes.
reveal where we're like, how does this make sense? And we all just start talking about like, did she lift these people up? Like what was
Right.
she
Right.
doing? It's such
That
a
great
brain
cable knit
scratcher.
sweater. Yeah.
Thrown through a
it's
window.
beautiful. That beautiful blue sweater. God.
For me,
Man.
I'm gonna say the sexiest horror icon, Candyman, of course.
Oh,
the one that would
Yo.
entice me into join his cause. The easiest, probably,
Yeah.
would be Candyman. Yeah.
that Tony
Nick-
Todd voice, baby.
Nick Cage would hate him because of the bees,
The beans.
But
Yeah.
I guess, you know what? I feel like I'm cheating on my spouse because I want to say Leatherface because I love Texas Chainsaw as my favorite
Sure.
horror movie, the original. But Michael Myers, man.
Michael
The
Myers,
first and greatest
classic.
to ever do it.
Yeah.
Mike, you're not going to go
Loves
Ju-on?
jumpsuits. And you love
Oh my
jumpsuits.
gosh, Kayako! I
You're
have
not
to
gonna
be
tell
married to
Kayako,
Kayako.
the little
Right.
boy.
and oh my
Something that
Toshio.
still scares me. Sometimes I check my closet for I'm like, Kayako.
Yeah.
No,
That
like
death rattle sound.
I've mentioned that like I might go to Japan and maybe move there one day, but like if I do, I can never have stairs that go up and to the left because I will be terrified
Just make sure
every day.
you buy a house. Just make sure that it doesn't have like a haunted past, you know?
Yes.
Like, people
Well, keep
didn't
all that
die
gasoline in your basement, Mike. You got to make sure.
Yeah, I will say, go back and listen to the Ju-on episode. I can't believe that there are 14 of those movies, and I watched all of them.
Wow.
That is
That is
the
crazy,
achievements people have pulled on this podcast. I do want to shout those things out real quick. Because Jacob's needless obsession with like, yeah, I'll watch every Hellraiser. I'm like, don't do that. And you're like, no, I will. Or Mike, you going like, yeah, 14 Grudge movies make sense. Guys, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a compulsion. I must.
And Gore Verbinski did the American one, and then he did Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
Wow.
No, The Ring.
Oh, The Ring, right.
That's
Ring,
right.
Yeah.
Because
Never
the original
mind.
creator did
You're
the
thinking of
American
Sarah
that.
Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, he directed it. Yeah.
It's like
For
one of the
me,
only
I
things
would
I've ranked on Letterboxd. Like I don't do Letterboxd as much as
Every
you guys.
time I click on your letterbox and I see that you just have Cyberpunk Netflix as your favorite show and everything you've rated is every The Grudge, I'm always like, Mike.
That's all I do, baby. That's my resolution for the next 300 episodes. I'm going to get better at being active on the Letterboxd. Finishing up my
That's a good
Godzilla
idea.
viewing. Oh, they had the actress who plays the psychic girl in the Heisei era was there, Megumi Okada, I believe.
Whoa.
So interesting. Yes.
Wow.
Well, Mike,
Megumi
I would
Okada.
say you and Michael Myers obviously share the same first name and share a love of jumpsuits.
Oh my God, you're right.
Interesting.
So just think about
Interesting.
that.
We're putting a lot together on this
Corey
special
Cunningham. Final answer.
Episode. That's Corey. Who's your favorite character out of all the people we've covered? Probably Corey Cunningham, if I could take him up there with me.
Yeah. Yeah, it is funny the things we choose. Because when you committed to Hellraiser, Jacob, I was like, fine, I'll do it too. But it's not like, it was not obligatory.
And those
it
movies
was
get
painful.
really bad by the end of them, yeah.
No, all the Halloweens were so funny because my dad ended up watching all those with us because he thought it was so funny that we were watching them all. I remember him being like, the Man in Black. Like by the time you get to those, it's just so crazy.
Yeah, and we get through your favorite Rob Zombie era, Jacob. It's like, what are we doing?
My God.
Dracula, baby.
The filter that just went over this podcast. The grimy filter.
It's tobacco stained, just like
it is.
Yeah.
Like we said.
We love it.
Gross. What's the dark horse candidate? Like someone who's underrated in the pantheon.
Of horror
I think
villains?
Candyman. We said nobody talks
He
about
is
it. I know
underrated.
they had that new one, but nobody talks about Candyman.
Oh,
So to me, he's so iconic with his like coat and everything.
His pimp coat, his cane. He's got you hooked.
of the people that there, I was most stoked to see Tony Todd. I was like, damn, that's Candyman. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think Creature, Pumpkinhead is super, super, super underrated. Just generally as a movie.
Yeah.
Watch it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Even Pinhead is like, or even any of those weirdos that are with
The guy with the videotape head. Yeah.
God, I'm fucking remembering we did a fucking Hannibal Lecter episode this year, and I've not stopped laughing about this video Jacob shared of Donald Trump's talking about Hannibal Lecter.
yeah.
It's probably the thing I've enjoyed the most
of the
this
lambs,
year,
folks.
Normie. I'm having a friend for dinner.
Said, I'm having
a friend for dinner. That's what he says. That's how the movie ends.
Late great Hannibal Lecter.
The late great Hannibal Lecter.
It's not clear if he thinks Hannibal Lecter is a real person.
He's pro him though. That's what's clear.
Yeah, right.
He thinks what he did was just.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's got a doctorate. He doesn't
What a
know
world.
what he's doing.
Yeah. He's a very good psychiatrist, right?
Yeah. Man.
Anyways.
Yeah,
love
what a
Hannibal
journey
Lecter,
we've been
don't we,
on.
folks? Yeah.
Yeah.
What a weird podcast this has been. I've loved every moment of it, truly.
Yeah, it's always a
300, almost.
treasure. Yep.
Yeah.
So next week, you know what's happening. This is Sparta. You know,
This
will be
is Normie.
A movie that changed a lot. I mean, a very influential film.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting now that I've seen the Rebel Moon and hate Zack Snyder with a passion, how I feel watching it. Like, well,
Yeah.
it's going to be an interesting return to like one of his
see if it
works that
holds
I
up.
felt like I enjoyed. I saw that 3 times in theaters too, for whatever reason, because it was just like a big deal. Like the action scenes.
Yeah,
were,
I was
like,
in high school.
revolutionary.
I remember my buddy describing every moment of seeing it. It looks like a cartoon. It's like nothing you've ever seen. I was like, but it's live action. But it's live action. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get
Fight
there.
scenes, the slow mo. We love slow mo, don't we, folks?
God,
Boy, do we ever. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you
talk
guys for
Watchmen at some
299 of
point, too.
these. Watchmen's
We
We
a
have
rewatch.
when we have a down week or something, we got to go back to watch.
We're so close to rounding out all of his films that we might as well as put them on the calendar.
Yeah,
We'll
dude.
program them out.
Dawn of the Dead. That'll be our next big watch.
We did
the rest
Justice
of
League, right?
Owls of Gahul, Dawn of the Dead,
That's
and
right, Owls of
Watchmen, and I
Gahul.
think we're done. And did we ever do the
Yeah.
zombie one?
We
No,
didn't do
probably
Sucker
not.
Punch. We
Superman.
did do
Oh,
Owls
I
of the
guess
Dead.
not. Yeah.
Man of Steel. I don't know if we ever talked about it specifically.
Yeah.
And like Dawn of Justice, Batman versus Superman. I don't know if we talked about specifically, but
Yeah, I guess not.
I've never seen his Batmans or Superman.
Oh,
you've
really?
never seen Batman versus Superman?
Never.
I'm proud of you, Mike.
Martha, why'd you
Stay
say that
clean.
name? You've never seen that? Wow.
No.
That iconic moment that everyone loves.
Right. Yeah, no, I never saw it. That's my confession. But I know
Well, we might have to
You know,
revisit the.
I
the
can't
DC
escape Zach.
EU.
I know
Yeah.
that much, you know.
You know what? We'll do a special Cliff Normies version of only Zach movies.
Oh, the Zach
Who's your favorite
attack.
The
character?
Zachiverse.
Leonidas, Bruce Wayne,
The
Yeah.
dad from Modern
Dr.
Family.
Manhattan,
Rorschach. Yeah.
Rorschach.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah, that's very
Zombie guy. Yeah.
funny.
All right.
Giver.
This has been so much. Oh my god, the Scargiver. This has
The
been so much fun.
Scargiver, of
It's
course.
been such a wild podcast. Thank you all for listening. Check us out at YouTube, like we said. You know, that's
Don't
important.
forget
We love
Gooner,
that.
Colin. That's right. Yes.
Or
Check us
Twitter
out.
or X or at normies_like_us. Anywhere you can find us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leave a like and a comment on YouTube. We love to read those.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy Pride Month, and
That's right.
enjoy
Happy
your life,
Pride.
everybody, you know?
Enjoy your life.
That's why we're talking about the gayest movie ever made next week.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yep.
And we
We're gonna
love
get
it.
Love Lies Bleeding
We
in, and now
love it.
300 to round it out.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. Well, yeah, to quote Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other. We love you, listeners. And
Live long and prosper.
live long and
We've been your
prosper.
hosts.
Go.
This is Colin.
Witness Mike.
And this is a Morton Jacob.
I like
Witness me.
live long and podcast, you know.
Live long and
long and
podcast. Bye.
We will and forever will be your hosts.